Hold on, everyone. Let me just see if this is working. Hold on. Just give me 1 second here, folks. Let's see here. Just give me 1 minute, everyone. And it does look like we're live. Okay, hello everyone, welcome back to another End-to-End Hockey Live play-by-play video. In today's video, we have Game 6, another potential elimination game, this one between the Montreal Canadiens and the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Montreal Canadiens are going to be looking to end the series and advance to their first second-round appearance in 5 years since they went all the way to the Stanley Cup Final in the 2021 season. Well, for the Tampa Bay Lightning, they're going to be looking to send this series back to 7, a Game 7 that will be played on Sunday in Tampa. This is going to be a very interesting game. Once again, just give me a second here, folks. Got a couple of things that I just need to figure out here, make sure everything's up and running, and then we're going to be good to go. So hold on a minute here, everyone. Just give me 1 second. And looks like we're right here. So let's see. It looks like we're good. So let's link that over there. And that should be good. So you're not missing anything. The game won't start for another like 5-ish minutes as we gotta get through the anthems. This is not the only game we are going to be seeing today. There are two other potential elimination games that will be happening later in the evening. One is going to be Boston versus Buffalo, a chance for the Sabres to clinch and win the series on the road. And then Vegas versus Utah. Vegas will also have a chance to clinch the series on the road. So some very interesting potential clinches are going to be happening later today. And today we also have this game here between the Habs and the Bolts. So I do appreciate you guys all for tuning in. It does look like we are up and running, so that seems to be good. Let's just check out some things here. So once again, during intermission and commercial breaks, check in on the Buffalo-Boston game. And depending on how long this game goes, we might check in on Utah-Vegas as well. So that is very interesting. I do appreciate you guys all for tuning in here. Once again, we had a very good live stream last night. We saw the Minnesota Wild for the first time in 11 seasons wind up making it to round 2, and boy, was that something to watch. Like, Quinn Hughes had himself a game. Minnesota was able to get the go-ahead goal thanks to Quinn Hughes in the third period, and they held on for a 5-2 win. So that was fantastic. Minnesota-Colorado second-round series, that's going to be one heck of a battle. And then we also saw the Anaheim Ducks get out to a 3-1 lead in the first period last night and took down the Edmonton Oilers 5-2, same scoreline as Minnesota's, but they had a really dominant effort, started out really well, and they were able to get the victory. So some very interesting Game 6 clinches last night that sees Minnesota win their first series since 2015, and Anaheim win their first series since 2017. So we've got a little bit more new blood in the second round in the Western Conference. So we shall see how these series go today. The Bolts Habs. Bolts are going to be looking to send this series to 7 games, and the Habs are going to be looking to try and extend, and the Habs are going to be looking to try and end the series. When it comes to the Boston-Buffalo series, Boston's going to be looking to extend it back to Buffalo for Game 7. Buffalo is looking to advance to their first second-round appearance since 2007. It has been ages since the Buffalo Sabres have been able to make it to round 2. So we'll see if they're able to do that. And then Utah is going to be looking to send their series to 7 and potentially still have a shot to win their first ever series, while Vegas is going to be looking to end it in Utah and advance to play that Anaheim Ducks team in round 2. So we should wait and see what happens there. I have a feeling that Boston is definitely going to lose to Buffalo. Boston's apparently lost 5 consecutive home games in the postseason, so not great stuff there from the Boston Bruins. So I am expecting the Buffalo Sabres to probably win that game. But I do think there's a possibility Tampa and Utah force a Game 7. I would not be one surprised if either of them did. I think Utah's probably more likely on home ice to extend it to 7 than Tampa is. But I wouldn't be surprised if either of those series go 7. I am hoping for Montreal. I am a Canadian. So as much as I do not like the Oilers, and I'm happy that the Oilers are eliminated, I wouldn't mind seeing the Habs get to round 2, round 3, round 4. And plus, the Tampa Bay Lightning have had a ton of success over the past couple of years. Before Florida, they went to 3 straight Cup finals. So I would like to see the Habs be eliminated and get ousted in round 1 yet again. So we should wait and see. You're not missing anything. They're just lacing things up and getting back on the ice. So we haven't even started anthems yet, so you're still just a couple minutes away from the start of game time. Once again, like I mentioned, we saw some very interesting games happen yesterday as the Anaheim Ducks were able to take down the Edmonton Oilers, winning 6 games in advance of their first second-round appearance. since they played the Edmonton Oilers in the second round back in 2017. And then the Minnesota Wild were finally able to exercise their demons and make it past round one, beating the Dallas Stars 5-2, winning the series in 6 games to advance to their first second round appearance since 2015. So it'll be very interesting. If you want my early predictions, I should have a prediction video. I know Carolina Philadelphia is coming out tomorrow, as that's going to be a game that happens tomorrow. Don't plan on live streaming it, but that would be the only game tomorrow. So I know that is probably going to happen. But if all the series is end tonight, I'll probably do a playoff preview video on Sunday at some point. If the games go to game 7, then I'll probably have a playoff preview on Monday at some point. So either Sunday or Monday, we'll have a playoff preview for the second round and who I have going to the Cup final. But I would probably say my early predictions would be Carolina and Minnesota both winning 6 games. Just basically, I think Carolina has a lot more talent than Philadelphia. They play very similar style game, and I wouldn't be terribly shocked if Philadelphia made that a really interesting series. I know a lot of Canes fans and some people are saying Canes going to win like 4 or 5 games, but that's what I thought about Philadelphia when they were going to lose to Pittsburgh in 5 games, and that never happened. I know Carolina has a lot more talent than Pittsburgh does, but I think Philadelphia can make that interesting, especially if Dan Vladar played like he did against Pittsburgh. When it comes to Minnesota, Colorado, I am a firm believer in the President's Trophy curse. I don't think the President's Trophy team ever goes far, and on top of that, teams who had 120 points in this century are 0-6 for having made it past round 2. So I think Minnesota is actually going to be able to take it in 6 games. Once again, Minnesota has been my Cup favorite all year, so I was expecting an as wild second round matchup for quite some time now, probably the past 2 to 3 months. And we are going to get that. So I'm not going to say it's impossible for Colorado to make it to the conference final. I just think Minnesota has a little bit of an edge now, especially after ending the last series against the Dallas Stars. So my early predictions are Wild in 6 and Canes in 6, but I will have a full playoff preview video coming out either Sunday or Monday. So I hope you guys tune in for that. But I should be able to have that. Once again, you're not missing anything. Habs and Bolts are just getting onto the ice. And then we'll have the anthems, and then we should be able to get going here for the play-by-play. So that'll be very interesting. Once again, in about half an hour's time, Buffalo is going to be playing Boston. That's going to be one heck of a series. Game 6. It has been one heck of a series. I do think with how bad Boston has been at home in the postseason over the past couple of years, I do think Buffalo's going to be able to get the job done. But I wouldn't be surprised if Boston wound up forcing Game 7, but I think the other 2 series are way more likely to reach a Game 7. Utah-Vegas tonight, that's going to be one heck of a series. Potential finishing. I do think there's a possibility Utah sends it back to Vegas. We'll have to wait and see, but Utah's been a very resilient team. I know they've lost back-to-back games 5-4 in overtime, but I do think there's a possibility that the Utah Mammoth could wind up extending that series. And once again, I do expect Montreal to probably win this. It's on home ice. They've had a really good first few games. Each game in this series has been decided by 1 goal. The first 3 were in overtime. The last 2 were 3-2 finals in regulation. So this is a very tight series. I think that if these 2 teams went the different path, this could easily be a conference final sort of series. But I am sort of expecting Montreal to win here. I don't know if it's going to be a blowout or if it's going to be just a really close game. But I do think there's a very likely possibility for Montreal to end the series today. But I wouldn't be shocked if the Tampa Bay Lightning put their best foot forward tonight. Vasilevskiy was brilliant, and they were able to drag the Montreal Canadiens back to Tampa for a Game 7. So we'll have to wait and see. I don't know exactly how this one's going to go, but I would put my money at this point in time on Montreal to probably end the series. So I do appreciate you guys all for tuning in. Once again, if you can, leave a chat down below, leave a comment. Love to hear your thoughts on the playoffs so far. Anaheim. Love to hear your thoughts on Minnesota advancing, Colorado, Carolina advancing. Love to hear your thoughts on all of that. And what do you think we'll see in round 2? And how do you think the last 2 series in round 1 will go? Do we get any Game 7s on Sunday? Or are all the series going to finish up tonight? And if we do get a Game 7 on Sunday, which Game 7 is most likely to wind up happening on Sunday? Is it Montreal-Tampa? Is it Utah-Vegas? Is it Boston-Buffalo? So there's going to be some very interesting things there. Once again, you're not missing anything. They're just doing the anthems, and then we will be good to go for Montreal-Tampa Game 6. So an interesting note there. Once again, I do apologize if my screen's buffering a little bit. The weather is bad here, so the Wi-Fi is not overly good. But I'll try and get through it, and hopefully it's not too bad for the stream. So I do hope that's the case. Once again, you're not missing anything, and in about half an hour's time, Boston will start against Buffalo. So that's going to be very interesting. Once again, they're just doing anthems, so you're not missing a thing. So this is going to be very interesting. Let's see how this game goes. Once again, I expect this to be a very entertaining game between the Habs and the Bolts. All five previous games in this series have been highly entertaining. Like I said, it was 4-3 in overtime for Montreal. It was 3-2 in overtime for Tampa. It was 3-2 in overtime for Montreal. It was 3-2 for Tampa. It was 3-2 for Montreal. So I expect this one to be a very close game. Probably another 3-2, 4-3 score line. And I could definitely see the Montreal Canadiens pull it off. So we shall wait and see on that. I hope you guys stay tuned to the end to see if the Montreal Canadiens are able to advance to round two for the first time in 5 seasons. Once again, last year they were able to make the playoffs for the first time in 4 seasons, and they got eliminated round one by the Washington Capitals. So this year they're going to be looking to try and advance to round two for the first time since they lost the Cup final to the Tampa Bay Lightning. So this is going to be one heck of a series. I'll be interested to see who ends up coming away with this. Once again, it is in Montreal, so I am going to say that Montreal's probably going to end the series tonight. I think Buffalo probably ends their series. I think the two most likely options that go seven is this game plus the Utah Vegas series. I think I could see Utah and Tampa really push that series as to seven. I wouldn't be surprised though if Montreal did wind up winning. I also wouldn't be too surprised if Vegas won. But I do think Montreal and I do think Tampa and Utah have the potential to wind up pulling those series back to a game seven. Back to a game seven. So very interesting to note there. Once again, you're not missing anything. We are currently in the we're currently before the puck drop. They're just doing the anthem, so you are not missing a thing. Once again, this is going to be one heck of a series and one heck of a game. Boston Buffalo does happen later tonight in about half an hour's time, so that's going to be an interesting game. Boston has lost both games at home, being outscored 9-2. So I'm expecting Buffalo to put their best foot forward and end this series in 6 games. But I could see Boston maybe bring it back to Buffalo. Buffalo does have a little bit of an inexperience issue. So we shall wait and see on that. But that's going to be one heck of a series. Finisher potentially tonight. And then, of course, at the evening game is Utah Vegas. And the Knights are going to be trying to end their series just like they did last year in 6 games. Last year was against Minnesota in Minnesota. This year they're trying to do it in Utah against Utah. So we shall wait and see how those series go. But once again, neither of those ones have started. And the Montreal-Tampa game is just about to get underway. You're still not missing a thing. It's still they're going through their anthems. So you're not missing a thing. So very interesting to note there. Once again, with the games that happened yesterday in the Game 7s, I'm not planning on doing any streams tomorrow. There is one game tomorrow. It's the start of the second round between the Carolina Hurricanes and the Philadelphia Flyers. I don't plan on doing that live stream. I will be keeping tabs on it, but I don't plan on doing a live stream tomorrow. Once again, we'll see if any of these games go to a Game 7 on Sunday. I'm not going to promise any Game 7 live streams because Sunday's usually a very busy day for me, going to church and having a couple of other errands. So if I get the opportunity and there is a Game 7 on Sunday, then I'll try and stream it. If all the game series end tonight, then I probably won't do any sort of streams on Sunday. I definitely will try and do one on Monday next week, so that's probably going to be my next live stream. If we can't get around to anything on Sunday, then my next live stream will probably be on Monday with whichever series they wind up doing on Monday. And then Tuesday will be the draft lottery, so I'm not going to do a game stream on Tuesday, but I will be doing a live draft lottery viewing. So if you guys want to tune in for that on Tuesday, I really do hope you guys do. And then on Thursday, Friday next week, I'll probably do a couple more live streams. So once again, I'll have to get the entire second round schedule, but I do plan on doing a couple of live streams next week. So once again, they're just getting underway. Dobesh against Vasilevsky, and this is going to be one heck of a game. Just starting here, and you have not missed a thing. We're just getting underway here. Habs Bolts, Game 6. Habs with a chance to advance to round 2 for the first time since they lost in the Stanley Cup Final to the Tampa Bay Lightning back in 2021. The nose on the ice here, starting in the face-off dot for the Montreal Canadiens, and we are just about to get ready to go between Montreal and Tampa. My, that's going to be a good one. Okay, in the face-off dot is Cirelli and Danault. Cirelli wins the draw, and Tampa regains possession of the puck. McDonough behind his own net to Chernak. Montreal forechecking early on. Nice hit on Chernak, but Tampa does get it down the ice, and that will be an icing call just a few seconds into the first period. Montreal will get an offensive zone face-off draw. just 12 seconds in. So once again, you're not missing a thing. We're going to have an offensive zone face-off draw here for the Habs. Once again, nice job there for Montreal. Good forecheck early on. Josh Anderson went after Ryan McDonough, and then he laid the huge hit on Eric Chernak, so that's what they're just showing here. Offensive zone face-off draw here for the Montreal Canadiens. And I think that's Suzuki out there trying to take the face-off. And Suzuki is going to lose the draw. Tampa gets it, McDonough gets it, and he's going to zip it to Gord. It's a little bit out of his reach, and that I think is going to be an icing call on Tampa. So another offensive zone face-off draw here for the Montreal Canadiens. Once again, they're just showing the sort of pairings that the teams have for Montreal and for Tampa. Remember, Tampa has been eliminated 3 straight years in the first round. 2 years ago, or 3 years ago actually, it was against Toronto, and then the last 2 years it was against the Florida Panthers. So they're looking to try and get their first round series win in 4 years. So it'll be very interesting to see how that one goes. Montreal has it. They have it at the point. Gouli waiting, dumps it around the boards. Slavkovsky's got it. He's going to wait at the boards looking for a passing. They pass a shot, and that's going to be stopped by Vasilevsky. Goes to the corner. Gouli got it. Back in front, put it on goal, but could not get it. Here's Caulfield. Shoots it. It took a deflection and goes over the net. Slavkovsky's going to keep it on the boards, gets it down below. Actually, Suzuki was to Slavkovsky, puts it on goal. Vasilevsky's able to get it, and Tampa is going to try and resend their own zone. Gord, with a couple Montreal players on him, is able to get the puck out, but Montreal is able to gain possession in the neutral zone. And Hudson's got it across to Gouli, and Gouli's going to hold up behind his own net. Now he's going for a skate. Caden Gouli, pass across to Bolduc. That line's been pretty good, but they're turning back, and they're going to have to reset in their own zone. Bolduc, Doc, and Texier have been one heck of a trio for the Montreal Canadiens in this postseason. And Strubal's now got it in his own zone, passes it along the boards, tipped in by Montreal Canadiens. Vasilevsky leaves it for Moser behind his own net. Moser gets hit. Montreal holds the line for a second, but now Tampa's got it. Maybe a little break here. Radish shot stopped by Dobesh, and he's going to hold on for a whistle. So nice shot from Radish, nice stop from Dobesh, and Montreal Canadiens are going to get a defensive zone face-off draw here. 1 minute and 34 seconds gone in the first period. So very interesting to note there. Once again, just really good puck movement. Slavkovsky with a nice shot on Vasilevsky. Then an odd man rush, and Radish just laid into one. And Dobesh was able to stop it off of his mask, get in between his pads, and cover up. So really good stuff there. Let me hear your thoughts in the chat below on the series so far. And what do you think will happen tonight? Once again, I'd love to hear your guys' opinion. We do have an offensive zone face-off draw here for Tampa. 1.5 minutes gone in the first period. And the Tampa Bay Lightning are going to win the draw to the point. I think that's Lilberg shoots. It trickles out, just trickled wide. Dobesh had to reach over to get it, but it did go wide. Tampa's got the back of the point. Lilberg dumps it in, and Gensel's going to keep it, but the puck goes to Montreal, and they're able to regain possession. Here come the Habs. It's Lane Hudson. Dumps it in for, I think that was Demidov, but it goes right on to Vasilevsky, who covers up. And another offensive zone face-off draw here for the Habs with 1 minute and 54 seconds now gone in the first period. Shots are currently 2-1 in favor of the Montreal Canadiens. So very interesting note there. Once again, they're just showing Corey Perry's performance from last year to this year. Last year, he had 10 goals and 14 points, along with to help the Oilers lose in the Stanley Cup final. So far this year, has no points and no goals in 5 games. So he's been a little bit more quieter than he has been in recent playoff appearances. Remember, Perry has been with the Stanley Cup loser for 5 straight years in a row. Does that end tonight? That's a possibility too. Montreal with offenses on face-off draw, and they lose it. Tampa is able to regain possession, and it goes over to Hagel. Hagel leaves it for, I think that's Gensel. Gensel into the offensive zone, trying for a pass, and he gets it to the point. Tampa is going to funnel it below the goal line. And here's Gord, gets it to Gensel, can't glove it down, but here comes Chernak, who does keep it in. Back to Gensel below the goal line, fighting for it with Gord. It pops free to a Montreal Canadian player who banks it out of the zone, and Tampa's going to have to regroup. Montreal's got it now below the goal line. Dobesh. Oh, he turns it over. Gord. Oh, Gord had a wide open net. Terrible play from Dobesh, but he couldn't put it home. Kucherov keeps the line. Radish now has it. Radish back to Kucherov. Kucherov shoots it and goes wide, and Dobesh covers up another offensive zone face-off draw for the Canadiens as some more rough stuff happens. Carrier and Gord barking at each other below the goal line. So very interesting note there. Once again, this was a terrible play from Dobesh. She turned it over to Gord, and Gord was falling, trying to get into that yawning cage. He put it right through the blue paint and could not bury it. That was a missed opportunity for Yanni Gord to put the Tampa Bay Lightning up 1-0. Once again, we're just 2.5 minutes into this first period, so very interesting note there. Once again, offensive zone face-off draw here for I think, Tampa Bay Lightning, and they lose the draw, and Gooley's got it again, wins it around the boards, and Montreal's able to get Suzuki. Tipped in by Slavkovsky, right onto Vasilevsky, who's going to pass it across to Moser. Moser in his own zone. Intercepted! Montreal! Caulfield shoots! And I think that one went wide. Nice try from Cole Caulfield. Goes into the neutral zone where Tampa has it. Kucherov trying to feather a path, can't. Suzuki on the forecheck, and Vasilevsky chips it away from him. Tampa and Montreal fighting for it along the boards. Tampa clears it out, and that's Hagel's going to wait for some reinforcements. Now here comes Kucherov. Kucherov skates around, shoots, stop, rebound, and it goes over the net and behind the net. Nice try there from Kucherov. Now Montreal has possession. Nice stretch feed here to Suzuki. Suzuki, nice step around. Tries to feed across, and he does. Shoots! Oh, Slavkovsky fan on it. Nice try for the Habs to take the lead, but they can't. Tampa now has in the neutral zone. Perry dumps it in, dumps and chases. Carrier's now got below the goal line. Gets it around the boards, and now fighting for it with a couple of other Bolts players. Bolduc gets it, and they are going to be able to get it along the boards, and Tampa gets it back. Pass across to Perry, shoots, tipped in front, and Montreal is able to regain possession. Doc behind the net, passes it to Bolduc. Bolduc off the wall, but he can't get it out. Now the Montreal Canadiens do. Texier gets it, and it's intercepted again. Here comes Braden Point. Point passes across, shoots, and I think that was stopped by Jakub Dobesh. And now here comes Tampa. Diastis keeps in the offensive zone. And here's Tampa. Gensel tries to feather something in front, can't. Gensel to the point. Gets it to, I think that was Chernak, but he couldn't. Point has no stick, and Montreal's able to gain possession. And Bolduc with a nice feed, but once again, Tampa intercepts in the neutral zone. And Tampa dumps it down now. And that was James. James on the forecheck trying to get away from Montreal, who's just playing pass in their own zone. And Tampa does get back, tries centering feed to Goncalves, but he could not. Now Montreal has it. Nice feed, and they do get out of their own zone, and that might be icing. Nope, Vasilevsky goes out to play it. McDonough's got it. And interception. And Newhook's got to the point, and that one just goes wide. That was a nice try from, I think it was Brendan Gallagher. Newhook's now got it to Demidov, back to Newhook, shoots, and that one goes wide. And now Xhekaj, below the goal line, has the puck, and he's hounded by two Bolts players, but they do get it below the goal line. Newhook's got it to Gallagher. Newhook back to Gallagher. To the point, shoots, and that one looked like it hit a body, didn't get to Vasilevsky. And now Montreal trying to get something going here. Demidov and Newhook and Gallagher in the offensive zone. Point shots, and that one goes wide. Montreal does keep possession. And here is Xhekaj, who can't hold the line, and Tampa is able to get it out. Here comes Goncalves, and he dumps it in as Tampa goes off for a change. 14:24 left in the first period, a scoreless game between Tampa and Montreal. Xhekaj gets it across, gets it to the point, tipped in. Nice try. Vasilevsky's got it. Vasilevsky back to the point, and Tampa is trying to stretch something out, and they do. Here come the Bolts. Coming in along the wing, that is Lilleberg, I think. Shoots, took a deflection, but never got to Dobesh. Montreal is able to keep it in, or keep it. The puck stays in Montreal's zone. In the corner, Carrier trying to get it out. Hit by Brian Hagel. Tampa's now got possession a little bit here. Kucherov's got to Hagel. And Hagel's got it in the corner. Hagel trying to get away from Carrier, and he is able to. Hagel to the point. Gets the Moser, shoots, and that one goes wide. Radish now has it. Radish below the goal line. Radish wraps it around, shoots, stopped by Dobesh. And now Suzuki's got it. Suzuki loses it to Kucherov, and Kucherov keeps in the offensive zone. And now here come the Montreal Canadiens, trying to get the puck out of the zone, and they can't. Suzuki, though, does grab it. And Nick Suzuki just stops below the goal line. Suzuki trying to get away from Paul, and he does. Nice pass, and the puck does get out of the defensive zone for the Montreal Canadiens. Radish dumps it back into the Montreal end. And now Tampa with a shot. Gord could not put it on net. Now maybe a little bit of a break here for Montreal. And the Habs do get into the offensive zone. And nice try for a pass, but the no could not handle it. Tampa gets possession again. Gord just dumps it into the offensive zone. Dobish gets it, passes it to Struble. Struble hit by two Bolts players. Tampa's able to keep it in the offensive zone. And Deneau's got it. Deneau's to the point, but it's taken by Tampa. Tampa shoots, stopped, and puck goes around the net. And now it's to Lilleberg tipped in front, but the puck never got to Dobish. Now it's a shot from Jurgensen's, and that one goes wide. Here's Diastis, gets it to Gord. Gord trying to find some sort of passing lane. He gets hit off the puck by Xhekaj, and Tampa is trying to keep it, and they do. Paul, below the goal line. Feather the backhander, it goes wide. And now Tampa is able to keep it. Gord, below the goal line again, passes it, tried to get to Gensel, could not connect. And now the Habs were able to get it out. Small play there from the Montreal Canadiens. Here comes Lilleberg. Lilleberg in the neutral zone, loops back around as the Bolts are changing. And now they're keeping in the defensive zone, trying to wait for a passing lane. And here comes Tampa. I think it's McDonough, tries to get it to Point. It goes deep into the Montreal Canadiens zone. Gulich gets it before Point does. And now there's a tie-up behind the net. Montreal is able to get there, and they just send it down. And I think that's Texier trying to outbeat McDonough, and he does. Fighting for it in the corner. Bolduc fighting for it with Chernak too. And Point enters the scrum, trying to find the loose puck. And Chernak is able to get it to the point, and Tampa does get it out. Here comes Jay Gensel. Gensel dumps it into the offensive zone, and they go off to change, as is Montreal. So Hudson below his own goal line tries to set something up. Lane Hudson, nice pass there to his deep partner. And now it's intercepted, and here comes Tampa. I think that was Goncalves who just dumps it down. Dobish gets it back, and now Goncalves. He's out there with Bjorkstrand and James trying to fight for the puck. Bjorkstrand does get it, and he's going to rim it around the boards, back to the point. Radish shot, it was blocked, goes to the other side. Goncalves keeps it. Montreal trying to get something going, and they do. Caulfield gets it. He just dumps it down. Montreal goes off for a change. Demidov is the only Habs player in the Bolt zone as Tampa stops in front of Vasilevsky, trying to set something up. 10:45 left in the first period. Shots are 6-2 for Tampa. And here comes Tampa again. It is Hagel. Puts it on goal, shoots, stopped by Dobish, and he covers up. Nice stop from Jakub Dobish. And there's going to be an offensive zone face-off draw for the Tampa Bay Lightning with just a few minutes gone in this first period. Once again, just showing some of the highlights. Solid opportunities there. I think that one hit the post from Koff. Let's see here. Another nice try for Slavkovsky, but good sticks from Tampa. Another nice shot. Oh, there was one of the Bolt shots that hit the post. Very interesting. A couple of passes that were a couple of shots that wound up hitting iron. And all in all, really good stuff so far. You're going to commercial break, so you're not missing a thing. So far, it is a scoreless first period, so you're not missing anything. It has been a very interesting game so far, but we're on commercial break, so you're not missing a thing. In about 10 minutes, we should have the start of the Boston Bruins-Buffalo Sabres game. So while we are in a commercial break right now, let me just change this. Hold on a minute here, guys. Let's see. This one should go to the first period. Just give me 1 minute here, guys. Let me change that as the first period should be getting underway between Boston and Buffalo in the next 10-ish minutes. So that should be good. Let's move this over here. That's fantastic. Okay, so it'll be the first period between Boston and Buffalo, and that should be a very good game. Once again, if you guys can, leave a like, leave a comment, leave a chat down below. Tell all your friends. Best hockey content on YouTube is right here at the Internet Hockey channel. Leave a subscribe. We're trying to hit 750 subscribers in the next couple of weeks, potentially by the end of the second round or the start of the third round. So if you can make that work, it would be really appreciative. Once again, we are trying, once again, it's free to do so, and 90% of you guys who view my streams or my videos are not subscribed, so if you can, leave a subscribe. It really helps with the channel. You're not missing anything. We're currently in a commercial break, so once we get back, we'll go back to the play-by-play. I think there's just over 10 minutes left in the first period, so that's very interesting. Once again, if you guys can, leave a chat down below. Would love to hear your guys' opinion on this Habs Bolt series and on all the series so far, and if you guys have had any surprises so far, I'd love to hear your guys' opinion on all that stuff. Once again, it looks like we're just getting back here for the face-off between the Habs and the Bolts. Once again, the percentage for this, they're just showing a graphic here. Percentage of time in the first 5 games of this series, 58.7% of the time this series, it has been tied. So this series has been very, very, very close. I mean, the first 3 games went to overtime. The last 2 games were both 3-2 games in regulation. So this has been a game of inches, a series of inches. Tampa has the offensive zone faceoff draw, and they lose it. Montreal's able to get it back. Gooley rims it around the boards, and Tampa keeps the line. Chernak gets it down to one of the Bolts forwards, trying to fight for it. One of the referees gets tied up in the loose sticks. Tampa does keep the line. Point gets it to below the goal line. Dobesh sends it along the boards, trying to get it out. Can't. Point holds it along the boards, gets to Paul, who rims around the boards to the other side. Demidov, nice play there. And he is going to get it to try to get it to Evans, could not. And now Demidov trying to get that puck out. Now he's got possession. Potential breakout here for Montreal. Gets it to Evans. Evans dumps it down. Slavkovsky goes after it, fighting with Chernak, and Montreal does keep it. Shoots, and that was a nice try from Evans that feathered out right to him in front of the net. And a nice stop there from Vasilevsky. He will hold on with 9:54 left in the first period and a scoreless first period so far between Montreal and the Tampa Bay Lightning. So very interesting to note there. Once again, we do have offensive zone face-off draw here for the Montreal Canadiens. Just showing some of the highlights here from that last play. Slavkovsky tried to get a pass out. Nice play to Evans, but Vasilevsky was up to the challenge and made the save. So a really good stop there from Mr. Andrei Vasilevsky to keep this a scoreless game. Shots are currently 7-3 for the Tampa Bay Lightning. So very interesting to note there. Montreal's the offensive zone face-off draw to the left of Vasilevsky, and Suzuki does win it. It gets to the point. Matheson dumps it back in, and it's touched up by Anderson, but they can't keep possession. Tampa's now got it in the defensive zone. Pass to Paul is misplayed, and Montreal's able to gain possession in the neutral zone. Dumps it back into the Tampa Bay Lightning zone, and here comes Montreal. Suzuki sets it up for Carrier, and I think that hit one of the Habs players in front, and now Tampa trying to get an odd man rush. Hagel gets it back to Kucherov, and now Hagel receives the puck back. Hagel gets it, looking for a passing lane, tip to Kucherov, but he tips it out of the zone. Tampa has to regroup in the neutral zone, and Montreal is now able to get it in the defensive zone. Matheson gets it. Matheson back to Carrier. As the Habs forwards change, Matheson's got it back in his own zone, and now it's tipped in by Bolduc. Bolduc chases after it. Doc fighting for it with Radish, and that's Diastis who's able to get it for a second. Puck is below the goal line. Montreal trying to get there. Bolduc, a couple of Bolts and Habs fighting for it below the goal line. Puck goes around to the point. Struble keeps in, shoots! And I think that one went wide. Tampa's able to regain possession. They dump it down, and Montreal keeps possession for a second. Here comes James in the offensive zone. James shoots! Stopped by Dobesh. It goes to the corner. James now has it again. James along the boards, and Montreal is able to get it into the neutral zone. And Bolduc dumps it in, and Evans goes after it, shoots, cannot, rebound! And that one is a nice stop from Andrei Vasilevsky. The puck goes to the corner. Tampa Bay trying to get something going here. James in his own zone gets it, and Tampa is able to have a little bit of a breakout here. Paul calling for the puck, but Tampa just dumps it in, and Dobesh sends it to below the goal line. Here comes Montreal. Hudson with a nice pass as Montreal breaks out. And here comes a streaking, I think that's Josh Anderson. No, it was Brendan Gallagher. Deneau and Gallagher passing with it, and Gallagher is able to get it to the point. Lane Hudson shoots it, tipped it wide. There was, I think, a tip from Josh Anderson, but he could not, or Alex Newhook, that is. Montreal's got it again to the point. Here's Gooley, shoots right into the glove of Andrei Vasilevsky, who closes his mitt on it, and that's going to bring up a whistle, a face-off, and there's a scrum in front of the Tampa Bay goalie. Once again, nice stop there from Andrei Vasilevsky, and there's going to be another face-off here in the Tampa Bay zone. Once again, some more rough stuff happening between Tampa and Montreal. These two teams do not like each other. Doc with a huge hit on Oliver Bjorkstrand earlier in the shift. And then a nice try from Alex Texier, which was a great stop from Andrei Vasilevsky. And once again, we're just going to another commercial break. So you're not missing anything. I think there's about 8 minutes left in the first period, and it is still a scoreless game. Sabres and Bruins should be getting their way in the extremely near future. That game should be getting underway in the very near future. You're not missing anything. We're in a commercial break. There will be an offensive zone face-off draw for Montreal when we get back. So very interesting note there. We'd love to hear your guys' thoughts down in the chat below. What has been your opinion so far on the Stanley Cup playoffs? Are you surprised the Ducks beat the Oilers last night? Are you surprised the Wild ended the Stars? Are you surprised that the Canes moved on, the Flyers moved on, the Avalanche moved on? How do you think these last three series will finish? Will we see any Game 7s on Sunday? Love to hear your guys' thoughts down in the comments and chat below. Love to hear your guys' opinion on all that stuff. And I'll try and get to your chats as soon as I possibly can. So I do appreciate that, you guys. And if you can, leave a like and leave a subscribe. It's free to do so, and it really does help with the channel. So we are going to be with you guys here for the next couple of hours, trying to see how this game goes. I personally do think Montreal has a very good chance of winning this game, but I would not be one bit surprised if Tampa forced a Game 7. This has Game 7 series written all over it. So I would not be one bit surprised if Tampa and Montreal wound up going to a Game 7, but I would not also be surprised if Montreal behind their home crowd was able to win it in 6. I think the most likely series to be ending tonight is the Boston-Buffalo series. I think Buffalo in Boston, where they have outscored the Boston Bruins 9-2, and where Boston's lost the last 5 playoff games they've played there, I think there's a very likely chance Buffalo ends it tonight. So I think that's the most likely chance. I think Montreal has the second most likely chance. I think the one that has the most likely chance of going to a Game 7 is Utah versus Vegas. So very interesting note there. Once again, they're just showing some of the hits. The hits have been all over the place in this game so far from the Montreal Canadiens to Tampa Bay Lightning. 7:47 left in the first. Offensive zone face-off draw for the Montreal Canadiens. Once again, they're just showing a close-up of Martin St. Louis. And in the face-off draw, the Bolts do win it, and they are able to get out. Here comes Kucherov in the neutral zone. Tries to get to Hagel, could not, and now it goes back into the neutral zone. Montreal gets it and dumps it into the Bolt zone. Now it's along the boards, and Tampa clears it into the Montreal Canadiens zone, where Montreal is going to recover and regroup. And now here's a nice pass into the neutral zone, and Montreal is going to enter the offensive zone. Matheson dumps it into the Tampa zone as they dump and chase again. Point with the intercept, and he's going to send it into the neutral zone. Hagel with a nice try to stretch feed to, I think that was Perry, but could not. Montreal with the intercept, and they're in their own zone trying to set some things up. Yuri Slavkovsky's got it. Slavkovsky looking for it in the offensive zone. McDonough's going to be able to take it away from him, and they fight for it in the corner. I think that was Evans might be. Shoots, and it's, there was a stick in there, but Montreal could not get to it. Tampa's now got below the goal line, and that's McDonough. Sends it to Perry. Cannot keep it, though. Once again, Caulfield and Suzuki are out there. And, what a hit. One of the Montreal Canadiens just laid a monster hit on one of the Tampa players. And McDonough's in his own zone to try and set something up. 6.5 left in the first. Scoreless game so far. McDonough streaking in, passes it to Gensel. Gensel takes a huge hit from, I think that was Josh Anderson. He pummeled him. Tampa does keep the puck, though. Trying for a tip in front, can't get it. Puck goes below the goal line. Tampa trying to keep it, cannot. Montreal now has it, passes it, and it's tipped out of the zone. Smart play there. Montreal goes for a change. Tampa has possession of the puck in their own zone. That's Diastis. Diastis looking for some sort of passing lane, does get it to Lilleberg. Lilleberg gets to the cross, and they dump it in. Struble now behind the net. Struble to Doc, and Doc gets it to Xhekaj. Xhekaj tips it, and it looks like it goes over the glass. I don't know if that's going to be a penalty or not. I don't think so. It looks like they're pointing to the Montreal Canadiens face-off line. Once again, they're just showing the huge hit from Anderson on Chernak, and then Anderson had another huge hit on Gensel. Anderson has been everywhere tonight for the Montreal Canadiens. Remember, Anderson, I think, was part of the Columbus Blue Jackets team that took out the Tampa Bay Lightning back in 2019 for nothing in a sweep, the only series win the Columbus Blue Jackets have ever had. So, once again, Anderson knows what it takes to beat the Tampa Bay Lightning team. He knows he needs to be tough, physical, on the puck, hard to play against, and so far, he is bringing it. Once again, you're not missing anything. We are in a commercial break. So I do appreciate you guys all for tuning in, and if you guys can, leave a chat down below, leave a comment. Love your guys' opinion on this game and on these series so far. Boston Buffalo, I think, is just getting underway, so we will be checking on that game during the intermission break, as well as potential TV timeouts. I will just really quickly check in on how that Boston Buffalo series is going and how that game is going. Depending on how long it is, we might also check in on Utah Vegas, but I have a feeling that this Tampa Montreal game will probably end before the Utah Vegas game starts, unless it goes to another overtime, so we shall wait and see on that. You're not missing anything. We are in a commercial break. Yeah. So, what have been some of the surprises so far for you guys? Like Anaheim winning last night, winning the series, eliminating the Edmonton Oilers. Minnesota winning their series over the Dallas Stars. Was it Philadelphia winning their series over the Pittsburgh Penguins? Was it Carolina or Colorado sweeping in round one? Would love your guys' thoughts on which games you think were the most surprising so far. Once again, I do expect Carolina to probably make it to round two with having to play Philadelphia. Once again, we are back here once again. After the first period in the last 20 games for the regular season and the playoffs, the Bolts have not led after the first period. They have 10 times trailed, and they have 10 times been tied entering the first intermission. So they really could use a goal here before the end of the first period. Once again, I'm just zooming in on the players here. 5:51 left in the first period. It was a scoreless game. And that's going to have to be redone. So the faceoff's going to be redone again. Cirelli against, I think that's Evans. And Cirelli does win it. Tampa keeps it in the offensive zone. Shots, and that's going to be blocked. Texie tried to get out, can't. And now here comes Kucherov below the goal line, trying to get something going. And has taken off the puck. He gets it back, fighting for it in the corner with, I think that's Carrier. And Kucherov is able to get it. Gets a little bit of space here. Kucherov shoots. It's blocked. Tampa does keep it back to Hagel. Hagel gets it across to Radish. Radish to Kucherov. Kucherov trying to get it in, can't. Radish takes it, shoots, and that's going to be stopped. And here comes Montreal, maybe a little bit of a break. New hook with Texier, and I can't see who the other guy is. Pass, shoots, and that one's stopped by Vasilevsky. Puck goes back to the point. Tampa's the only one there, and Tampa's going to get it into the offensive zone. Nice play there from Nick Paul. Paul is going to send it in as Gouli tries to reset his own zone. Gouli gets it around the boards, but Tampa does keep it in. Backhanded, and that one's going to go to the corner. Montreal's got it again. Tampa loops it around, and it's going to get kept in by Chernak. Chernak to Gouli. Gouli to one of his forwards, and they do get out. And Montreal trying to get some sort of thing going. Maybe a 2-on-1 here. And shoots! Stopped by Vasilevsky. The puck's still loose. Tampa's able to get it, and they do clear it. What a stop from Vasilevsky on a 2-on-1. Davish stops it in the defensive zone and leaves it for Lane Hudson. Hudson skating around, gets it across. Nice pass to Suzuki. Suzuki gets it to the point to Struble. Struble hits and fakes the shot. Now he does shoot. Blocked by Tampa. Might be a 3-on-2 here for the Bolts. Breaking point to Jake Gensel, to the trailing Darren Radish, tries to fight in front, and the puck is loose, and they can't put it home. Tampa trying to get there again, can't. Montreal with the intercept off the boards, and they clear it into the neutral zone. Nice play from the Montreal Canadiens. Tampa is going to reset as they make a line change in their own zone, and Radish now has it. Radish stopping up, passes it back to his D partner as Tampa still makes their changes, as does Montreal, and now it looks like they're going to try and do something. And Radish with a nice stretch feed, tipped in, Hagel goes after it against Carrier. Huge hit from Hagel on Carrier as they try and fight for it in the corner. Tampa trying to get there, and they do. Back to the point. Lilleberg gets it to Hagel. Back to Lilleberg. Shoots it, and it goes wide. Nice try. Tampa keeps the line, though. And now they get it below the goal line. Here's Kucherov. Back to Lilleberg. Shoots, and that one's deflected wide again. Nice bodies in front there for Montreal. Tampa is going to cycle it back below the goal line, and Kucherov got it again. Kucherov fighting with one of the Habs players, and I think that was Texier who's going to dump it down into the Tampa Bay Lightning zone. And now it's taken by Tampa, and they dump it back into the Montreal zone as both teams go off for a change. Struvel's got behind his own net, trying to reset with 2:55 left in the first period. And there's some pushing and shoving on the benches. And here comes a little bit of a break here for Josh Anderson, I think that is. Or maybe it was Newhook. And the Bolts are going to be able to get back. Here's Radish. Sends it over. Nice try. Trying to get it back. Or that was actually Goncalves. Sorry, not Radish. And the Montreal Canadiens are going to keep it along the boards, along with Tampa, and they get it around the boards. Jacques has now got it, fighting for it with Lilleberg. Gets it to Bjorkstrand. Bjorkstrand's below goal into Goncalves, trying to find a passing lane in front, can't. Gets it back to the below goal line to Bjorkstrand. Bjorkstrand to the point. And it just hit off of one of the Bolts defenders, and the puck goes out of the zone. I think that was Chernak. McDonough is able to keep it to Chernak. And now Chernak loops back around in his own zone. Chernak is going to get to the red line and dump it in for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Montreal goes after it. Tampa with a nice interception, but there was no one there for the tip in front. Now Montreal gets it. Demidov around Lilleberg. Demidov looking for a passing lane, but there's too many Tampa bodies in there. Now Nick Paul has it. Minute 50 left in the first period. Tampa, nice pass. Here come the Bolts. Again, I think that was Hagel. He's taken down, or Jurgensen's actually. Now Montreal, it's a stretch feed. It's blocked. Tampa keeps in the zone. Diastis gets it across to, I think that's Paul. Gets it to Gord. Gord to around the boards, back to Diastis. Diastis to Radish. Radish shots, and that one goes wide. Slavkovsky and Diastis go for it, and it goes to the point out of the zone, and Tampa has to regroup in the neutral zone. Radish enters the offensive zone again, dumps it in on Dobesh. Dobesh is going to hold on, and that's going to be an offensive zone face-off draw here for Tampa with 1:14 left in the first period, an 8-7 lead right now in the shot category for Tampa, and a scoreless first period. So, been a really good game so far, but the Tampa Bay Lightning do lead over the Montreal Canadiens. So, really good stuff there so far. Once again, they're just zooming in and showing some of the highlights. Once again, a really good chance here on I think it was a 2-on-1 for for Hudson and Demidov. Demidov with a nice shot on Vasilevsky, but could not put it home. Kucherov's got it, and then it was a nice play there to get the puck out. Kucherov and Texier were fighting a little bit in their own zone after Texier went to the bench. So very interesting to note there. Once again, some rough stuff. Tampa with the offensive zone face-off draw here. Face-off wins are 7-3 right now in favor of the Tampa Bay Lightning, so they have been better in the face-off dots. And Tampa Bay is going to lose, it looks like, this face-off. Carey's got it, gets it to the boards. Anderson with a nice tip to center ice, but Montreal can't keep it. Suzuki trying to go after it, as is Anderson. Interception! Caulfield has a little bit of space, stops it, dumps it into the Tampa Bay zone. 57 seconds left in the first. Tampa and Montreal fighting for it in the Tampa zone, and Tampa's going to flip it into the center ice zone. Montreal's got it. Matheson to his D partner, I think that's Carrier, and now they tip it into the offensive zone. Montreal trying to fight for it. Radish and one of the Habs players go down, but Tampa does wind up getting it out. Perry's now got it. Dumps it into the Montreal Canadiens zone. 36 seconds left in the first. Perry goes after it, and he is able to get it for a second. Montreal now has it, and they get to the point. Bjorkstrand to McDonough, shoots, and that's going to be blocked. And Caulfield tried to take McDonough off the puck, could not. Tampa keeps possession, and now they enter the offensive zone again. Chernak shoots, and that one is stopped, it looks like, by Jobesh. 16 seconds left in the first, and another offensive zone face-off draw for Tampa, as there's more pushing and shoving in front of the Montreal net. So very interesting to note there. Once again, Chernak's there, so is Matheson, so is Anderson. Another nice try from Eric Chernak to wind up getting the Tampa Bay Lightning on the board first, but it was not able to. And a nice stop there from Dobesh. And then once again, Chernak looked behind him, and then a scrum ensued in front of Dobesh. And that is very interesting. Once again, another offensive zone face-off draw here for the Bolts, as they have been pretty good. Shots are currently 9-7 in favor of the Tampa Bay Lightning, so the Habs have been the better the shooting team, just ever so slightly. And it's point and Deneau in the face-off dots. Tampa has Deneau. It's to the left. Tampa has point, but Deneau does win it. To the left of Dobesh, and it's flipped into the neutral ice. And it looks like it flipped out of play. So I don't think it's going to be a penalty, but yeah, there's going to be, I think, another neutral zone face-off draw here. There's 10 seconds left in the first period. Actually, there's a penalty here on Tampa. Ginsel's going to get a very late first period penalty. Let's see what happened here. Yeah, that puck was flipped out. Is this going to... No, it might be a high sticking call. Let's see here. Gensel got it. And he high-sticked. Oh, he punched. I think that was Gooley in the face. Oh, that's a bad penalty. That's something you can't take. They're going to say it's high-sticking. His stick did catch Gooley up in the face. He tried to just push him up high, and his stick caught Gooley. That's going to be a power play from Montreal. There's 10 seconds left in the first, so this will most likely carry on into the second period. So, interesting to note there. Once again, they're just zooming in on John Cooper's face with Tampa now on the penalty kill. 10 seconds left in the first. We'll see if Montreal's able to get the early goal here really quickly, or if we're going to have to wait until the second period to get our first goal. And Montreal does win the face-off, trying to get back to the point. They do. Nice backhand pass, but there's no one there. They can't keep the zone. 3, 2, 1, and that's going to be it for the first period. So we're in intermission now. Montreal and Tampa scoreless, but it has not been for the lack of trying. These two teams have had such an entertaining first period, but Montreal and Tampa are still scoreless. So we're going to change this here first really quickly to intermission, as that's going to be changed there. So really good stuff here. We will get to the Boston-Buffalo game in a minute, but first the intermission report. We will see how both teams have been doing so far. Let's see. Let's go over here and see what the stats are at the break. Once again, it's been a very entertaining game so far between the Habs and the Bolts, but it is scoreless in the intermission, so you are not missing a thing. So once again, this is a six. So once again, they're just entered intermission. 9-7 shots on goal for Tampa. So the Bolts are having the shot advantage, but there has been no goal scored yet. It is a scoreless first period. The Bolts will have a minute and 49 seconds of power play time to start the second period. So the Habs will be able to start on the power play. So far, other stats here: the Bolts are dominating in the faceoff dot. They have won 61.5% of the faceoffs, having won 8 of 13. So the Bolts do lead in the faceoff category. Once again, this is the first power play. It's only 10 seconds in, so currently no one is gone to power play or that is finished. So both teams are currently 0 for 0 on the power play. Hits favor the Montreal Canadiens as they lead at 20-15. Blocked shots lead the Montreal Canadiens. They currently lead at 8-5. Giveaways, Bolts lead it. They lead at 5-3. And takeaways, Bolts lead it. They lead at 2-1. So both teams have had some similar stats. Lots of hits in that first period. And currently it is scoreless in intermission. So definitely very interesting to note there. I would love to hear your thoughts on all of those things down in the comment section below. Now, once again, just really quickly before I get to Boston Buffalo, we did see some more awards finalists be handed out today. Once again, I don't think I mentioned this on my live stream last night, but a couple of days ago we saw Kucherov, I think it was Celebrini, and McDavid be nominated for the Ted Lindsay Award, if I'm correct. I think that was correct. Then the day after, we saw Swayman, Vasilevsky, and Sorokin be nominated for the Vezina, for the best goaltender. Then we saw Kopitar, Caulfield, and Sanderson be nominated for the King Clancy Award, the 3 finalists there. And then earlier today, we saw Ruff, Muse, and Cooper be nominated for the Jack Adams Award, once again, for the best coach in the NHL. So, once again, some very interesting ones. Love to hear your guys' thoughts. Who you think is going to win the Ted Lindsay? Who's going to win the Jack Adams? Who's going to win the Vezina? Who's going to win the Lady Byng? Love to hear your guys' thoughts on who you think are going to win those awards. But we are going to go back here to Boston versus Buffalo, and let's see the score. Here's already 1-0 Buffalo, who currently has the only shot on goal. So the Sabres have opened up the scoring. Let's see how that happened. Just give me a second here, guys. I want to see how the Sabres opened up the scoring. Let's see here. And just reminding here, so this isn't live, but let's see here. Arvidsson's apparently missing his second straight game, so that's not good there for Boston. Buffalo got it. Let's see here. And Buffalo got into the offensive zone. Tuck got back, or I think that might have been Oslin, back to Dahlin. Dahlin back across to Tuck, and Tuck put it home. Okay, very nice first goal here. Quick start for the Sabres once again on the road. They apparently love to play in TD Garden. Alex Tuck with another goal in Boston. So really good stuff there. Once again, that's now, what is it? The Sabres in a pure 2 games and a bit have outscored the Boston Bruins 10-2 in Boston. So that's very fantastic stuff there from the Buffalo Sabres. Let's see, and now how much time is there left? There's a penalty, I think, being called on the Boston Bruins. 13:31 left in the first period. We'll stay here for a couple of minutes. Once again, you're not missing anything. Our game is in intermission. So let's see here. Oh, it looks like Hampus Lindholm with a huge hit on. Oh, he hit Benson in the head. That is not good. Once again, another nice try. They're just recapping the goal here. Tuck with another nice tip in off the pass from Dahlin. And it looks like Buffalo's going to be heading to the power play. Once again, commercial break, so we are not missing anything in this game either. So once again, very interesting out there. Let's change this from 0-1. And now the Buffalo Sabres are on the board. So good stuff there from Buffalo. So once again, you're not missing anything. We are in intermission right now between the Montreal Canadiens and the Tampa Bay Lightning. So once again, I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the chat, in the comments below. Once again, I'd love to hear your opinion. What do you think is going to be the best game tonight? Currently, we have a 1-0 Buffalo Sabres lead and a scoreless game here between Montreal and Tampa. So that's very interesting. I do appreciate you guys all for tuning in. I thank you for that. And I'd love to see you guys subscribe, leave a comment, leave a like, tell all your friends. Best hockey content on YouTube is right here at the End-to-End Hockey channel. And on top of that, would love to see you guys support the channel. And I hope you guys stay tuned. We're going to have more hockey content coming out after the live stream. And I do plan on doing more live streams next week. Probably won't do anything on the weekend. I don't plan on doing Game 1 between Carolina and Philadelphia tomorrow. and we'll see how the game sevens go. I might try and do one on Sunday, but I'm probably not. So we shall wait and see if there's even any game sevens that happen on Sunday. So we'll see. But I'll probably try and do one on Monday. We've got the draft lottery live stream on Tuesday. That's only going to be about a half an hour one, but that's going to be the live stream for Tuesday. And then we'll have a couple more live streams on Thursday and Friday. So going to have a couple of very interesting live streams happening next week for round two after what has been a very entertaining round one. Once again, you are not missing anything. Montreal and Tampa is an intermission. It has been a very entertaining game so far. As Tampa's out shooting Montreal 9-7, chances at both ends, but the Tampa Bay Lightning are still not on the score sheet as are the Montreal Canadiens. In this game, the game below, I think it's right here, the Buffalo Sabres lead 1-0 on the Boston Bruins. After an early goal from Alex Tuch, they're now on the power play where they are 1 for 20 in this series on the power play. So Buffalo loses the offensive faceoff draw, and Thompson keeps the line. Thompson gets it to Tuch. Tuch gets it across to Norris. Norris has it along the boards. Once again, this is a Buffalo power play. Gets it to below the goal line to Zucker. Zucker gets it to Thompson. Thompson gets it to Dahlin. Dahlin gets it back to Norris, back to Dahlin. Shoots it, tipped. It goes wide. Nice try from Zucker. And the Boston Bruins clear the zone. So smart move there from Boston. Buffalo has to tag up. Dahlin's got it, and he's going to tip it in. Nice play there. I think that's Tuch who gets it around the boards to Thompson. Thompson back to Zucker, to Dahlin, to Norris, shoots, and that one goes wide. And now here comes Dahlin at the point. Gets it to Thompson. Thompson gets it, shoots, and that one's going to be stopped by Swayman with 1:12 left on the power play for the Buffalo Sabres. So very interesting to note there. Once again, you're not missing anything. The Montreal-Tampa game is an intermission, and this Buffalo-Boston game is just going to have a face-off after a nice stop from Swayman. Nice play from Thompson to Dahlin, to Norris, back to Dahlin, who had a nice shot, tried to be in front by Zucker, was not able to. Buffalo trying to extend their lead, already up 1-0 on Boston, in a win and advance to round two game. Buffalo looking for their first advancement to round two since 2007. So it's been a while for Buffalo since they've gone to round two, and they're definitely going to be looking to do so today. So that's going to be very interesting. Once again, the puck goes down the ice. Dahlin's got it in the neutral zone, trying to set something up. Sends it back for a streaking Ryan McLeod. And McLeod sends it to Zucker. Zucker back to McLeod. McLeod sends it around the boards to Doan. Doan has it. Looking for a passing lane. Does get it to McLeod. Gets it to Dahlin. Shoots. And that was blocked in front. And I think that's Zadorov who clears the puck for the Boston Bruins. So very interesting note there. Lyon behind his own net. And he's going to leave it for Bowen Byram, who's now on the ice, as the Sabres' second unit fully comes on now. Gets it to Quinn, gets it to Doan. Doan back to Quinn. Quinn around the boards to Benson. Benson is going to send it to the point to Byram. Byram back to Doan. Doan backtracks it to McLeod. McLeod to Byram. Byram back to McLeod. McLeod to Benson. Shoots. Doan trying to get it. It's jammed away at, and Boston is able to keep it out. Hunznadinov gets it. Can't clear it, though. Buffalo keeps the line. Benson to McLeod to Doan, but it's full strength, and now there's a penalty, I think, maybe being called here. Let's see. It looks like maybe Benson's going to the box. I don't know if this is a penalty or not. Let's see what exactly happened here. Once again, they're just showing the replay. Dahlin with a nice shot. Oh, nice glove stop by Jeremy Swayman. Great stop from Rasmus Dahlin. Dahlin got out to the point shot. That was a 91.9 mile per hour shot. Once again, another nice try. A little bit of a skate flick. And now Doan in front was trying to jam away at it. Swayman was able to keep it out. So good stuff there. And once again, Dahlin does have a goal in this series. That was the opening goal in last game. There's no penalty on the play. It looks like they were just calling a stoppage. There's a neutral zone face-off draw, and Buffalo's going to get it in the neutral zone. Buffalo passing between their defense. Now they tip it in. Here comes Greenway across to, I think that was Kozak. Greenway going after it. Kozak's got it. Back to the point. Shoots Buffalo, and that one I think took a deflection. And went out of play. Once again, Buffalo trying to get their first playoff series win and second round appearance since 2007, if I'm correct. So it has been basically 2 decades since the Buffalo Sabres have been able to advance past round one. So they are going to be looking to do that tonight after Philly got their first series win in 6 years a couple days ago. And then last night, Anaheim got their first series win in 9 years. And Minnesota got their first series win in 11 years. So we're seeing a lot of teams, droughts, who have not been able to make it to round two end this year, which is very fantastic. And I love to see that, to see some new teams wind up having some very good success. Once again, I will be cheering for a couple more teams to try and do that tonight. Montreal would love to see win. Buffalo would love to see win. I am a Vegas fan, so I would love to see them go on. But I also wouldn't be too upset if Utah forced a Game 7. Once again, I do want to see at least one Game 7 happen. Buffalo has in the offensive zone, once again, no power play. It's been killed off now by the Buffalo Sabres. Malenstein trying to fight for it. Thompson trying to fight for it. Boston is able to get there, though, however. And Boston chips it into the neutral zone. Kuznetsov loses it. And, there was a shot taken there by one of the Boston players on Buffalo. But Boston is able to regain possession. I think that was Isamont who dumped it in. Or actually, it was Steves. Buffalo is able to regain possession in their own zone. Byram's going to loop back and try and set something up. Nice stretch feed, tipped in. I think that's Tuck who's going after it against Zadorov. And the puck is below the goal line. Tries to get out to Thompson, can't. Too many bodies in front. Steves has it. Steves to one of the other Boston players, and they dump it in. And that Geeky goes after it. Can't get it. It's all on the boards. And Buffalo does end up getting it. Byram's got it in the neutral zone, trying to skate away from a couple Boston players. He's taken down, but there's no call on the play. Boston's now got it. Geeky gets it. Maybe a little bit of a break here. Shoots! Stop, rebound! Stop. What a stop, point blank on Millstep by Alex Lyon. A couple of nice stops from Lyon, who has been brilliant since coming in Game 3 for the Buffalo Sabres. Here's Benson. Gets it to, let's see here, to Dahlin. Dahlin skates it in, backhands it, and Swayman's got it now. Swayman back to Boston's players. McAvoy back, and here comes Kostelic. Has a little bit of space, trying to get there first. Can't. Power with a nice play. Kostelic still fighting for it, and the Buffalo Sabres are going to keep possession in the defensive zone. Power with a nice drop feed there. Boston intercepts in the neutral zone. Lose it for a second, and now they cross ice feed it, and they are able to gain possession. Hello, Marshall. Nice to see you in the chat. Boston's got now. Kostelic trying to get it to Corrali, intercepted. Now might be a 3-on-2 here for Buffalo. Here come the Sabres. Thompson to, I think that was Quinn. Tries to get across, and the puck's going to go wide. We're going to go back to the Montreal-Tampa game in just a minute. Once again, I think it's still an intermission, so you're not missing a thing. And here comes Buffalo, and Corrali's got it now. Corrali to Pastrnak. Pastrnak trying to get in. He does. Shoots! Stopped by Lyon. And the puck is back to the point. And Boston with a nice tip, and they can't get there. And I think that was McLeod, and McLeod was able to get there to Byram. Byram is going to fake the shot in, and now gets it to this neutral ice where Boston's able to get it back. Zacha gets it deep into the Buffalo zone where Tuck's got it. And Tuck is going to dump it into the Boston zone. Tries a little bit of stretch in. Maybe there's a little bit of break. Zucker tries to get across, and he does. To Thompson. Shoots! Stopped by Swayman. They stop. Thompson gets it back to the point. To Dahlin. Dahlin back to Thompson. Below the goal line. Thompson to pass. Nice play. Buffalo keeps the cycle going. And that is Krebs going to leave it for Samuelson. Shoots, scores! Buffalo's on the board again. I think that was Matthias Samuelson with another goal in this series. Sabres are up 2-0, and they're looking really good to potentially clinch their series tonight. What a shot. Samuelson, 73 mile per hour bomb from the point. And the Buffalo Sabres are up 2-0 with 7.5 left in the first period. Just a seeing eye shot. There were 4 bodies in front of Swayman, and he had no chance of seeing that one. A beautiful goal from Samuelson off the drop feed from Krebs. And Buffalo's up 2-0. Let's go double check here first that the Montreal-Tampa game's not started yet. Let's see. And it looks like we are still in commercial break on Montreal-Tampa. So you are not missing a thing, but that game should be getting going in the very near future. But just a really quick update here. The Buffalo Sabres have made a 2-0 game on the road in Boston. So really good stuff there. I thought that this would be possible. I thought the most likely series to be ending tonight would be the Buffalo Sabres, due to the fact that Boston seems to be doing terrible on the road. I mean, at home in the postseason. They've lost 5 consecutive games on home ice in the postseason dating back to 3 years ago. So, not great stuff there from Boston. They're fighting for it in the Buffalo zone. Boston is able to get there. They get back to the point and they fake the shot. Now they shoot, and it goes, I think, up and out of play. Shots are 7-3 for Buffalo, and the goals are 2-0 for Buffalo. So once again, Buffalo having themselves a series. Once again, they're just showing the highlights. I think they're going to commercial break. What a stop on Middlestat by Lyon. And then Samuelson, a seeing eye shot, put the puck in the net. What a beautiful goal from Casey Middlestat. Wonderful stuff from the Buffalo Sabres. And once again, they're just showing some of the games from earlier this series. 4-3 Buffalo, 4-2 Boston, 3-1 Buffalo, 6-1 Buffalo, and 2-1 in overtime Boston. So this has been another tight series. But in the 2 games that Buffalo's played in Boston, they've outscored the Bruins 9-2. With the 2 goals today, it's currently 11-2. They've almost outscored the Boston Bruins in 2 games and a period by 10 goals. Buffalo likes playing in Boston for some really odd reason. So, interesting note there, Buffalo is well on their way right now to be clinching that series and advancing to round 2 tonight. Once again, Habs Bolts, it's a scoreless game. This game should be getting back from intermission any minute now. So I will change this back to the second period while we are still in intermission. So we are good to go on that front. Second period. So that's good. Once again, we do have another game later tonight between Utah and Vegas. This is the game that I think is most likely to go to a Game 7. I do think that Utah is going to put their best foot forward tonight and have a really good chance to potentially send that series back to Vegas for Game 7. I would not be one bit shocked if all series ended tonight in the Game 6 and we have our full second round slate. It'd be quite surprising to have no Game 7s. But I do think if there was a Game 7, it'd be most likely would be Vegas-Utah, and the next most likely would be Montreal-Tampa. Like I said, with Montreal having the crowd behind them, being on home ice, chance to end Tampa, I think there's a very likely shot Montreal ends that series tonight. I wouldn't be one bit surprised, though, if Tampa was able to bring it back to Tampa on Sunday for a Game 7. Once again, we'll have to wait and see. Once again, there's going to be one game tomorrow. I personally do not plan on streaming it, but the Canes and Flyers will be playing Game 1 of their second round series tomorrow. That has been confirmed. It's going to be at 6 o'clock start time, so we'll wait and see. Like I said, we'll see how the Game 7s go. I'm not going to guarantee we do anything on Sunday. There might not even be any Game 7s to do on Sunday, so we'll see how things go, but most likely, the next stream that I will be doing will be on Monday. We'll do another game stream. The second round will be announced by Sunday night. At the very least, it could be announced as early as today. So we'll wait and see how that affects everything. But there probably will be 1 or 2 games on Monday. That will probably be my next live stream. And then we will also be live on Tuesday for the draft lottery to see how all the teams in the lottery do. Once again, we do one of those every year. So that will be my live stream on Tuesday. It'll just be the half-an-hour draft lottery stream that we usually do. And then we will be doing another live stream on Thursday and Friday next week. So not sure if we're going to be doing anything on Sunday, but we'll definitely be doing one on Monday, the draft lottery on Tuesday, and then one on Thursday and Friday. So very interesting note there. Habs have a power play, and they win the draw to begin the face-off. Caulfield's got it, and he's going to loop it back. Gensel's in the box for a high sticking, which was suffered at the end of the first period. Montreal dumps it in. Tampa Bay's got it, and McDonough sends it, but then now Tampa does get it down to the ice. They're able to get a change. Minute and a half left in the power play for the Montreal Canadiens. And Montreal was 1 for 2 in the last 3 games on the power play. I think that's what that said. Montreal's going to loop back, and Montreal's going to get back into the offensive zone. Suzuki drops it for Demidov. Demidov gets it to Hudson. Hudson back across to Slavkovsky in the front, and he can't bury it. Now Demidov's got it to Hudson. Back to Demidov. Demidov shoots, tipped in front. Suzuki can't get a stick on it. Caulfield's got it back to Hudson. Back to Demidov. Across in front. Can't tip it in front. And Tampa is able to get it out. They clear the zone. Good clear there from Tampa. 50 seconds left. Dobesh Alves net to give the puck to Lane Hudson. And Hudson starts up again. Hudson going forward. And he's going to skate through it to a couple of Tampa players. Gets in. Hudson's got space. He loops around the boards. gets it back to the point. Doc's there, and Doc loses possession of the puck, being chased by one of the Bolts players, and Cirelli does get it. And here's Tampa shorthanded. Brendan Hagel leaves it for Cirelli. Cirelli loses the puck, and Montreal's able to regain possession. 20 seconds left in the power play for the Habs. Montreal trying to reset some things going forward. And here comes Doc. Doc into the offensive zone, makes a couple people miss. Oh, and he gets taken down in front of the net. I don't think there's a penalty on that play. Just a nice hit from Tampa. And overskates the puck. Might be a 2-on-2 here as the penalty expires. Cirelli just dumps it in, and that's going to do it for the penalty. Nice try for Montreal, but they cannot capitalize. Matheson's got it to Texier, and he's going to be stripped off the puck. Montreal does get it again. Bolduc. Here comes Kucherov. Passes it in front, intercepted by Bolduc, and Bolduc clears it. Nice play there from Montreal. Radish now has it. Sends it to Diastis. Diastis with the intercept by Montreal. And here come the Habs. Suzuki's got it. And he just dumps it down, and Tampa is going to reset. Radish has it to, I think that's Diastis. Shoots! Stopped by Dobesh with a nice glove stop, and that's going to hold on. We're once again 2 minutes and 25 seconds into the second period, and that is a scoreless game still between Tampa and Montreal. So very interesting to note there. Once again, a couple of good opportunities here for Montreal, especially Slavkovsky in front. I think that was actually blocked. Once again, Doc had a nice chance here in front, and he was taken down by, I think that was a Littleberg. So very interesting to note there. Once again, shots are currently 10-8 in favor of the Tampa Bay Lightning. So very interesting to note there. Let's see here how this one's going to finish. I do appreciate you guys all for tuning in to the live stream. Once again, this is a neutral zone faceoff draw. Oh no, offensive zone faceoff draw for Tampa. So Tampa, it's going to be James against Deneau in the faceoff dot. And Deneau is being waved out? Or no, Deneau just backed up for a second. Deneau and James in the faceoff. Offensive zone for Tampa. And it is going, James is waved out of the faceoff dot. Now comes in is, I think, Bjorkstrand to take the faceoff. Bjorkstrand, or actually Goncalves. Goncalves against the no in the faceoff draw as the Habs and Bolts players swap spots. And it is the no who wins it. Back into his own zone. Gooley's got it. And he's going to get it along the boards. And the puck does go out for Montreal. And the Habs are able to regain possession in the defensive zone. Here comes Montreal. Here comes Kane Gooley, who dumps it in, or maybe that was Jake Evans. And they dump it in, and Tampa goes after it. Tampa's got possession along the boards. Montreal trying to hold it in. They do for a minute here. Gallagher's got it, tips it. Radish goes after it. Gallagher trying to get to it, and the puck is able to get out by Tampa. Goncalves leaves it for Bjorkstrand, but it's too far for him. Bjorkstrand goes after it against Xhekaj in his own zone. Gooley backhands it. And Montreal may have a little bit of a breakout here. Gallagher gets it to the neutral zone. Evans trying to center it, can't, and Bjorkstrand's able to get it. And let's see how this one goes here. This might be an icing call. It is not. Hudson's got it below his own goal line, and now Tampa's got it. Gensel to Hagel. Hagel to Cirelli. Cirelli, maybe a little bit of stop here. And that one went wide. A nice try for a pass. Shot could not. Now here's a little bit of on-man rush for Montreal. Suzuki leaves it for Caulfield. Shoots! And that one's gloved down by Vasilevsky. He did have it for a second, but he was able to recover. And that's going to be an offensive zone face-off draw for the Habs. 16:25 left in the second period. So far, a scoreless for second period at this point. Once again, they're just showing some of the highlights. Nice little give and go here. And it was, I think, Kucherov who had that shot. And then Suzuki got to Caulfield, another nice shot, and it was right into the glove of Andrei Vasilevsky. So really good stop there for Vasilevsky on Caulfield, who's been rather quiet in this series. Hasn't been as effective as I think a lot of people were expecting him to be. I think he has one goal in this series. So once again, we'll see if Caulfield's able to heat up tonight or not. Montreal's got it in the offensive zone. They got offensive zone faceoff draw, and the Bolts are going to win the puck. Montreal gets it back, dumps it back around the boards. Now Chernak's got it, and Chernak sends it up into the neutral zone. And maybe Tampa's got a little bit of a break here. Nope, Montreal regains possession in the neutral zone, and they're fighting for it along the boards in front of the benches. Tampa's able to get there, send it back into their own zone, and they reset. McDonough's got it. Ryan McDonough gets it back up to the point, gets to the cross, and here comes Montreal. Nice play. Maybe a 2-on-1 here. Anderson trying to send to Carey. Can't. Gets it to Anderson again. Gets it to Caulfield, and he can't put it home. Another nice try from the Habs, but they can't put it home. Suzuki hit off the puck, gets it back to Anderson below the goal line, and now Tampa's got it. Tries to get Cirelli, try to put it on Vasilevsky for some odd reason. Vasilevsky was able to be sharp, hold on to the puck. That was just really weird from Cirelli to pass it right back to Vasilevsky. There'll be offensive zone face-off draw for the Habs with, I think, 15 and a half left in the second period, and was currently a scoreless game. So very interesting to note there. Boston Buffalo should be very close to intermission at this point. So good stuff there. Nice shot. That was just wide on, I think, by Caulfield. Once again, he seems to be snake-bitten at this point. So very interesting to note there. Once again, the last time they were in this building, Caulfield scored the 2-0 goal, I think it was, and the Habs went up losing 3-2. So we shall wait and see if Caulfield has some more magic to be placing in the Bell Center. And now Tampa is able to win it. They get it to, I think that was Lilleberg, and Lilleberg sends it up. And now Tampa's got a little bit of a break here. Gord sends it into Paul. Paul loops it around the boards back to the point. Tries a little bit of a tip in front. Shoots! And they can't get it in. Paul's in the corner trying to fight for it along with Gooley. And that's going to be taken to the point. The nose got it. And Montreal's able to get there. Nice try from Demidov trying to do a little bit of hand-eye coordination. Get the puck, and he does. But Tampa's able to regain possession. Montreal intercepts, keeps it in the offensive zone. Deneau's got it around the boards, trying to get it to Slavkovsky, can't. Slavkovsky hits one of the Bolts players around the boards. Tampa trying to regain possession, can't. Slavkovsky shoots. Deneau can't get it a lot on it. Montreal's able to get there, passes it back, but there's no one there, and they have to go back into their own zone. Two Tampa players trailing Lane Hudson. Hudson is able to get it back, though. Hudson leaves it for Slavkovsky, but Slavkovsky can't get there. Now Tampa's got back in the neutral zone. Perry gets it. He loops it in. And now Dobesh trying to get some sort of passing lane, gets it to Hudson. Hudson back across to Xhekaj. Or actually, it'll dribble to Xhekaj. Shot. And it stopped. Rebound. Dobesh is going to be able to keep it out. Loose puck. And the puck goes back into the Tampa Bay zone. A Tampa player and a Montreal player racing for it. And Point's going to win that race. Offensive zone face-off draw here off of the icing by the Montreal Canadiens. The Noah's livid. He thought he got a stick on that one. And 14:20 left in the second period. And Tampa Bay is going to have an offensive zone face-off draw here. So interesting to note there. Once again, this is just another nice stop from Dobesh. Oh my gosh, what a stop from Deneau. I didn't see that. The puck went through Dobesh's pads into the blue paint, and Deneau's stick was right in front of the goal line. Stopped that puck, and he was able to send it down the ice. What a stop from Philip Deneau, apparently the goalkeeper. What a stop. That puck was going in. Tampa should have a 1-0 lead at this point. Deneau has a defensive zone face-off draw here after he iced it, and Point is going to be given a warning. Point against Deneau, and the Bolts win the draw. Gensel's got it, trying to center feed, and shoots. Stopped by Dobesh. Puck goes back around the boards. Shot by Moser, stopped. And now Montreal has the puck. They get it to the red line. Actually, no, Hudson loops back around. Now he gets a nice pass, and Montreal's going to go after it. And it looks like that's actually going to be another icing call on Montreal. Hudson and Perry going at it in front of the benches. 14:02 left in the second period, and the Bolts, it looks like they're going to have another offensive zone face-off draw here. Gensel tried to get it to Radish. Radish had a nice shot, and it looks like he put just high. So another nice try from Darren Radish, who's had a couple of looks in this game, but just has not been able to find the net. Once again, another offensive zone face-off draw here for Tampa to the right of Jakub Dobesh, and the Tampa Lightning are able to win it. Here comes Moser, back across to Radish, and now Radish has it again, shoots, fan on it, another nice shot, and it's tipped just wide by Cirelli. Montreal's able to get it for a second. Xhekaj going after it, and he is not able to get there. Texier goes after it, and there's actually going to be a penalty here by the looks of things on, it looks like maybe Alex Texier, I think. Let's see here. It looks like the Bolts might be going to their power play for the first time tonight. And yes, it does look like Texier is going to the box for 2 minutes. Let's see what exactly happened here. Oh, Texier got a high stick on J.J. Moser. That's what it was. So high sticking call in the defensive zone by Alex Texier. And Tampa is going to be going to the power play when we come back from this commercial break. So once again, you're not missing anything. We're just heading to a commercial break. So very interesting to note there. Once again, just really quickly here, going to check on the Boston Buffalo game. And let's see here. It looks like Boston has a little bit of offensive zone pressure here by the looks of things. Sorry, my screen is just loading a little bit, so just give me a couple seconds here. Let's see exactly what's happening here for Boston Buffalo. Let's see. And it looks like Lindholm was trying to bat away at the loose puck in Lyon's crease, was not able to get there. Lyon's having himself a game. There's 55 seconds left in the first period. Buffalo still leads 2-0. And the win off the faceoff goes deep into the Buffalo zone after Buffalo win the offensive zone faceoff draw. 45 seconds left in the first. We'll go right back to Montreal, Tampa at the next whistle. And Boston's going to be able to get there in their own zone. And Buffalo keeps it in. Buffalo trying to get some sort of passing lane going. Can't. Puck goes around. Maybe a little bit of a break here for Boston. That's Pastrnak. He's got a couple of wingers with him, but Buffalo's able to get there. Hunsanov gets it to Zacha, but he can't get the shot away. Boston's able to get there. Boston to Zacha. Zacha tries to get a shot away. Can't. Stopped by Lyon. Boston keeps cycling. And Buffalo was able to get there for a second. They do get the puck out. There's 10 seconds left in the first. And that probably should do it. McAvoy dumps it down. 4 seconds left along the corner. And that's going to do it. 2-0 Buffalo at the first intermission. So good start to this game for the Buffalo Sabres, trying to put away the Bruins and advance to round 2 for the first time since 2007. Here, we have another offensive zone face-off draw here for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Once again, just got to wait for this thing to load. So just give me a second here, guys. I think that's Gensel against Evans in the face-off dot. And it is going to be, let's see here who wins this draw. And once again, Texier with a high sticking penalty. So it's a power play now for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Point, it looks like, is going to go take the face-off, I think. Let's see here. Nope. It's going to be, I think that's Hagel. And Hagel's going to win the draw back to Radish. Power play now for Tampa in the offensive zone. Back to Gensel. Back across to Point. Shoots! Stop. That one goes wide. And now Gensel's got it. Back to the point. Leaves it for Hagel. Hagel gets it across to... Just loops back around. Now gets it across. Kucherov tried to get back to Radish. Couldn't hold the line. And Bolts have to try and regroup. Here comes Tampa Bay. They get it on offensive zone. Hagel gets it to Kucherov. And it's intercepted. It might be a little bit of a break here shorthanded for Montreal. Newhook's got it. Newhook gets it across to Carey. Carey shoots. And that one goes over the net. Evans has it, dumps it back into the Tampa zone, and Tampa's going to have to go around the boards to get it. Hagel's got it with 1:15 seconds left in this power play for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Radish has it. Radish sends it across to Point. Point to Gensel. Gensel back to Kucherov. Gensel receives the puck back in the corner. Back to Kucherov. Back to Gensel. Gensel back to Kucherov. Kucherov at the point. Looking for a passing lane. Gets it to, I think that's Gensel. Point trying to get a stick on it. Can't. And Montreal clears the zone with 50 seconds left in the power play for Tampa. 12.5 left in the second period. Tampa is going to send it back into their own zone, and here come Tampa. Kucherov's got it now. Kucherov into the offensive zone. Gets it to Gensel, but they're offside, and 37 seconds left in the power play. There'll be a face-off just outside the blue line of the Montreal Canadiens. Once again, just showing some of the highlights here. Once again, Radish turned that puck over. It was Kucherov who got the puck back to Hagel, who got back to Kucherov, another nice try, and then it was turned over. And then once again, it was a 3-on-2. I think it was a 3-on-2 for Montreal. And once again, a couple nice stops from Vasilevsky shorthanded. 37 seconds left on the power play for the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are currently outshooting Montreal 12-10, almost midway through this game. So very interesting to note there. And Point is going to lose the draw, but Goncalves does get it. Goncalves dumps it in. And here comes Tampa trying to work it. Gets it back to Diastis. Diastis gets it to Goncalves. Back to Diastis. Diastis shoots, tipped in front, and stopped. Montreal gets it backhanded out of the zone. 20 seconds left in the power play. Still scoreless between Tampa and Montreal. Diastis gets it around the boards. Leaves it back for, I think that's Paul. Paul drops it off for James. James gets it back to Paul, but Paul can't handle that pass. Hudson intercepts it. 1 second left on the power play, and it's sent all the way down the ice. and Vasilevsky's back behind his net to play it. Gets to Diastis as Tampa and Montreal are both making changes. Penalty is now over. Montreal killed it off, so both teams have killed off a penalty in this game. 12-10 current shots on goal right now for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And here comes Tampa. Gets it back. Diastis with a send-off. Here's Gord. In, shoots! Backhanded, stopped by Dobesh. It's loose behind the net. Tampa trying to fight for it, and they are not able to get it. Montreal does get it out of the zone, and Tampa's able to get it back at the blue line, send it in. They chase after it. Here come the Montreal Canadiens trying to get that puck out of the zone, and Tampa's now got it. Here comes, I think that's Bjorkstrand, trying for a passing lane, does get to a point, shoots, it'll hit someone, and now Montreal's going to try and get it out, and they can't. Now they do. Backhanded out of the zone by, I think that was Lane Hudson. Tampa does get it back, Bjorkstrand sends it in, Gord, and I think that's Carrier go for the puck, and the puck gets back to Montreal's sticks. Slavkovsky to Caulfield. Caulfield dumps it in as Montreal goes off on a change. Tampa's got in their own zone. 10.5 minutes left, second period to go. Moser with a nice stretch feed. Gets it, and now it's intercepted. Tampa does get back, and Radish dumps it in as Tampa now goes off on a change. Dobesh leaves it for one of his defenders, and Montreal's able to get it. Matheson sends it long, and now maybe a little bit of a 2-on-1 here. Doc's got it. Doc shoots, passes it, and he can't get the puck. Vasilevsky's out of his net, but there's no one in front. Doc's now got it. Funnels it back to below the goal line. Here comes Montreal, trying to get some sort of passing lane going. And it's a Texier to the point. Shoots, tipped in front, and where's that puck? It's loose! And there was too many bodies in there. Montreal couldn't get there. Moser's got it to one of the other Tampa players. Now Moser's got it again in the offensive zone. Drops it off for, I think that's Kucherov. Kucherov back to Moser. Back in front, shoots! Stopped on Lilleberg. Nice stop there from Dobesh. I think it might have actually been blocked. Montreal's got it now. Doc, nice feed. Tries to fade it. Stretch. Texier can't handle the puck. And I think it was offside because of it. Puck was bouncing on him. He would have had a breakaway, but the puck bounced offside, and Montreal's going to have a neutral zone face-off draw just outside of the Tampa blue line. Once again, a couple of good chances here from Tampa and Montreal, but the Montreal Canadiens were not able to put it in. Once again, there's just, I think, around 10 minutes left in the first period, and there is a scoreless game. It's commercial breaks, so you're not missing anything. I'll let you guys thoughts on what you guys think about the guys who were just named to some of the awards over the past couple of days. I think it was a couple of days ago we saw McDavid, Celebrini, and Kucherov be nominated for the Ted Lindsay Award. I think 3 days ago we saw Swayman and Vasilevsky as well as Sorokin be nominated for the Vezina. Yesterday, I think Kopitar, Sanderson, and Caulfield were nominated for the Lady Byng. And then today it was Muse in Pittsburgh, Ruff in Buffalo, and Cooper in Tampa, all being nominated for the Jack Adams Award for the best coach in the NHL. So I'll let you guys thoughts on who you think would win those 4 awards. And there should be some more award announcements coming out over the next couple of days. And once again, I think the awards are in June, so those finalists will be announced as who gets the win in June. So, interesting note there. I think they made the right calls for most of them. Like Sorokin was brilliant in net this year. Swayman was a huge reason why Boston is even in this position to still be in the postseason. And Vasilevsky was once again Vasilevsky, being one of the best goaltenders in the NHL. I'm surprised Shesterkin didn't get a little bit more votes. I thought he might have, given how poorly that Rangers team did without him. But once again, I think they made the right call through to put the Vezina. Once again, head coach. There's probably a couple of other options out there. But like Muse took a Pittsburgh Penguins team who was not supposed to do anything this year and brought them at least to the postseason. Ruff was able to finally get Buffalo into the postseason. And I think a lot of people were expecting some regression from Tampa this year. And instead, John Cooper led them to second spot in the Atlantic Division and still a possibility to get to round 2. So I think they made sort of right calls, nominating those 3 as the top finalists for the Jack Adams. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts down in the chat, down in the comment section below, who you think will win those awards. We are back here in Montreal. It looks like the fans are very, very happy, waving their towels around. Still a scoreless game, awaiting the first goal of the game. At this point in time, I think it was already 1-1 last night between Minnesota and Dallas. So once again, this has been a very defensive-minded game. Both goalies have been great. Tampa offensive zone faceoff draw, and they are going to redo the faceoff. And now Tampa is able to win the draw, but Montreal gains possession. and Montreal has it below the goal line. Nice little pass there at Demidov, and Demidov takes the puck out of the zone, chips it into the offensive zone. Demidov, nice play, but that's offside. He put himself offside, and that is going to be a neutral zone faceoff draw just outside Tampa's line with 9:24 left in the second period. So very interesting to note their offense, just outside the offensive zone for Montreal. Demidov is going to stay out there on the wing, and let's see who's going to take the faceoff here. It is, let's just see here. Just give me a second, guys. And Hudson's talking to Demidov here. They're just going to have a close-up here of Ivan Demidov. And I think that's Evans going in there in the faceoff dot against Gensel, I think. I want to say. I think that's Gensel against Evans, and Evans does win it back to his D partner in Lane Hudson, and they do dump the puck into the Tampa zone. Tampa looking for it. Moser loses an edge. Montreal has it, but nice stick from Moser to get Tampa back the puck. Montreal's able to keep in the zone, though, for the time being. Tampa's able to get there now, and they have a little bit of a break here, maybe a 2-on-1. Gensel, he's got point, I think, shoots, and that's going to be stopped. A couple nice sticks in front. Now a little bit of a break here for Montreal. Anderson tipped it in. Actually, he didn't tip it in. There's a nice call. Montreal tries to bring Anderson on a 2-on-1, but Anderson couldn't get to the puck, and that is going to be a offensive zone faceoff draw for Tampa. Once again, just showing some of the highlights here. Nice chance from Gensel on points. Gensel had tried to feed it across the point on the 2-on-1, but a nice stick there from Lane Hudson to intercept that pass, and then tried to and then pass it to Evans, who tried to feed Anderson, and he wasn't able to get there, and it was called icing. So good stuff there. While we are on here in just a little bit of a break here while we wait for the puck to be dropped. Change this to the second period because that should be getting going in the very near future. So that looks good. Okay, so we are good there. So once again, the second period should be getting underway soon between Boston and Buffalo. And once again, once we reach intermission, we will go and check out how that game is going. Cirelli offensive zone faceoff draw loses it to Danault, and Montreal's able to get it, but Tampa does intercept. Cirelli trying to get a low, can't, and the puck does wind up rolling out of the offensive zone for Tampa. Chernik gets it to the neutral zone. Tampa's going to have to regroup in their own zone now. McDonough passes it up to Hagel. Hagel gets the Kucherov into the offensive zone, makes a little bit of a move, gets it back to the point, shoots, and that was stopped by Dobesh. McDonough fakes the shot. Kucherov gets it, tries to get center feet to Cirelli, can't. Matheson to, I think that's the no, and Tampa's got it in the neutral zone. Tampa trying to find some sort of passing lane. They do. Brendan Hagel in, shoots, blocked, hit a Montreal Canadian player. Matheson's got it to Slavkovsky. Slavkovsky is going to skate, and he's got a little bit of a space here. Dumps it into Suzuki. I think that actually might be the no still. And Tampa is going to get the possession of the puck in the defensive zone. Here comes Diastis to Hagel. Hagel looking for some sort of a passing lane. Gets to the point, shoots, and that one was a little bit high. Dobish couldn't get to it. And actually might have gone too high. I think it hit the netting. And with 7:53 left in the second period, there's going to be a stoppage in play. Once again, most points after a playoff loss in NHL history, Kucherov is fourth in the entire NHL, only behind Wayne Gretzky, Doug Gilmour, and Mark Messier. So Kucherov does a lot of damage after losing in a playoff game. So we shall wait and see. Once again, the Bolts have lost 3 consecutive first-round series, so they're trying to avoid having that be 4 consecutive series where they are eliminated in round 1 tonight. Tampa does win the offensive zone faceoff draw. It's kept in the offensive zone, and Tampa's able to keep it. And I think that's Lilberg. He's fighting for it. Can't, and Montreal with a little bit of a break here. The Habs cannot get to it. Gallagher is hit off the puck, and it's dumped down. Nice try. Vasilevsky's got it along the boards and trying to get it out. Can't. Montreal holds the line. Gallagher to the no. The no loops it around. Bjorkstrand fighting for it with Goncalves, and Goncalves is able to take it. Goncalves has James. Goncalves enters the offensive zone, gets it to James. James tries to get a little bit of a shot on, and he's stopped by Dobesh. Offensive zone face-off draw for Tampa, and now James and Xhekaj and Gallagher go after it behind the nets of the Montreal Canadiens. So a little bit of rough stuff here. There will be an offensive zone face-off for the Tampa Bay Lightning. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you think of this series and the Buffalo-Boston series down in the comment section below. Who do you think wins, and does that end tonight? or does it end on Sunday? Let you guys thoughts. And we do have a game later tonight in about an hour and a half's time. We have Utah playing Vegas. That's going to be an interesting one. I do think both teams are going to have a very solid game tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if Vegas went on the road like they did last year in Minnesota, but I also wouldn't be too shocked if Utah forced a game 7. So once again, we shall wait and see. They're just zooming in on the Tampa bench right now, so you are not missing a thing. There's 7:17 left in the second period. Once again, this is offensive zone faceoff draw here for Tampa after Dobish gloved the puck. It's Paul in the faceoff dot against, I can't see it, I think it's Evans. Let's see here, and Paul is not going to be able to win it. The Montreal player, I think that was actually Bolduc, or Doc, who's waved out of the zone, and now here is Bolduc, who's going to take the defensive zone faceoff draw for the Montreal Canadiens. Bolduc against Paul in the faceoff dot, and Paul does win it to the point. McDonough gets it to Gord. Gord gets it. Shot stopped. Chernak now has it. Chernak to Paul. Paul looking for some sort of passing lane. Paul gets it. Nick Paul gets it to the point. Shoots and it's tipped in front and it goes wide. And now Montreal is able to gain possession. Demidov is going to be able to chip it out of the zone. Or actually, I think that was Texier is able to chip it out of the zone. And here comes Tampa. They got it in the offensive zone. Jurgensen goes after it. Jurgensen's with a huge hit on one of the Habs players. I think that was actually Doc. There's a scramble for it beside the net. Montreal's able to get there. Lane Hudson's got it, and he sends it back into their own zone. Montreal trying to regroup here. The Habs get it. Nice little tip in front. Might be a 2-on-1 here. Bolduc takes it, shoots, and that's stopped by Vasilevsky. Another nice stop. Vasilevsky's having himself a game. Tampa now in the offensive zone. Moser's got it. He has it to Diastis, and he can't get it. Another nice shot. Paul tries to backhand it, can't at the point. And a shot again, stopped by Dobish. Montreal's got it, trying to find some sort of passing lane. They get it in the defensive zone, trying to skate it out, and they are just able to get it out. Nice play there from, I think it was Kane Gooley. Henderson's got it, trying to chase one of the Bolts players in his own zone, and Tampa's going to be able to get Gensel with another nice chip feed there to Point. Point is going to loop back around, and is going to try and get it to Diastis, who shoots and stopped by Dobish with 5:49 left in the second period. Once again, I think we're going to a commercial break here. Nice try from Charlie Diastis to try and get that puck past Jakub Dobish. Once again, they're just showing the Bolduc shot here. Another nice stop from Andrei Vasilevsky. I think, let's see. Yeah, it was another nice pad stop from Vasilevsky on Bolduc. And we go to a commercial break, so you are not missing a thing. Boston, Buffalo. Let's see how that game's going. It looks like that one's still in intermission, so you're not missing anything there either. Once again, once we hit intermission between Montreal and Tampa, we will be going to Boston, Buffalo, and seeing how that game's going to go. So very interesting out there. I appreciate you guys all for tuning in. I do hope you guys tune in for my content coming out later today and over the next couple of days. When it comes to future videos I have, I do have a couple more fan reactions and game recaps coming out later today and potentially over the next couple of days. I also have think an off-season preview video looking at what the Red Wings and Blues are going to be looking at entering the off-season. That should be coming out either later tonight or tomorrow morning, so that should be when that's coming out. And then on top of that, we do have a trade rumor video that I'll be trying to work on tomorrow. We'll see if it comes out tomorrow or Sunday. And then, of course, next week I will have a schedule on my community posts for videos coming out next week. And like I said, I'm not going to stream tomorrow's game between Carolina and Philadelphia. That's probably not going to happen. Then we'll see how many Game 7s, if there are any Game 7s on Sunday. Sunday's usually a pretty busy day for me, so I'm not going to say I am going to be able to get to any Game 7s on Sunday, but we'll see if there are any Game 7s to begin with. And then I will definitely have a live stream on Monday next week. One of the Game 2s. I'm sure there'll be a game on Monday, so we'll try and stream that. Tuesday, we will have the Draft Lottery live stream, so tune in for that if you guys want to see how the Draft Lottery goes. Wednesday, we will have a... Wednesday, I'm probably not going to do anything, then Thursday, Friday, we'll have more live streams. So that's probably my streaming for the next couple of days after this week. I'm probably going to have a live stream on Monday, Thursday, and Friday, and then we'll have the Draft Lottery live stream on Tuesday. So that's sort of the live stream schedule for this upcoming week. Once again, we are back here between Montreal and Tampa. It is a scoreless game right now between the Habs and the Bolts. It's been a very entertaining game, chances of both sides. but the Habs were able to stop all of the Tampa shots, and Tampa's been able to stop all of the Montreal shots. Shots are currently 16-12 in favor of the Tampa Bay Lightning. 5:49 left in the second period. An offensive zone faceoff draw here for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Sorelli against, I think that was Evans, and Sorelli wins it to Moser. Back to the point to Radish. Radish was a shot, tipped in front, and it goes wide. Tampa is able to keep possession. Hagel across to Moser. Moser with a shot. It's tipped and it stops. Radish has it, shoots. Stopped by Dobish. Moser gets the puck back. Gets it to Hagel. Hagel to Radish. Radish with a shot. It's blocked. Moser trying to get there. Can't. Demidov gets it around the boards. Gets it to Matheson. Matheson trying to get back to Demidov, can't. A couple of Bolts players fighting for that puck, including Kucherov and Sorelli, and the puck does go around the boards. Radish tries to hold the line, he can't, but Hagel does, dumps it back around the boards, behind the net. Montreal's got it. Carrier trying to feed it in front, and Demidov with another nice feed. And here comes Anderson. He's got a little space. Passes it across, could not hit it to, I can't see who that was, but he tried to feed it across to his partner across the ice, could not hit it. Hudson's now gone the neutral zone. Hudson dumps it in. Nice play from Lane Hudson. J.J. Moser's going after it, and now it's intercepted, and here comes Kucherov. Kucherov in the neutral zone, gets it across, a little bit too far from, I think that was Brandon Hagel, and Gooley's able to regain possession. Lane Hudson is able to get it to one of the other players. And now here they come, 3-on-2. Tries to tip in front for Anderson, can't. Suzuki's in there too. Gord's got it below his goal line. Passes it. Nice stretch feed, trying to hit. I think that was Braden Point, or actually Zemgus Girgensons. Could not. Hudson is going to just loop back and wait behind his own net. And now Hudson's skating. Hudson with a nice pass to Gooley. Gooley gets it to Suzuki, who tips it in. Vasilevsky behind his net to play it. Vasilevsky dumps it back around. It's intercepted by Suzuki, and he can't hold it. Falls down. Gord trying to get to it first, but he does keep it in. Point shot. Sakai stopped. And now it's loose in front. And it goes all the way down the ice. I think that might be an icing call, and it is. Another nice try from the Montreal Canadiens to put something past Vasilevsky, but they weren't able to. Icing call will mean a face-off in the offensive zone for the Montreal Canadiens. There was a point-blank shot from Xhekaj that was stopped on Vasilevsky, and then there was a loose puck in front, but Montreal was not able to get there. So very interesting note there. I do appreciate you guys all for tuning in, and I thank you for that. Once again, if you guys want to, leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscribe, tell all your friends. Best hockey content on YouTube is right here. Montreal loses the faceoff, and Tampa chips it ahead, trying to get into the offensive zone, and they do. And they do. Xhekaj now has it below the goal line. Xhekaj is going to stop up. He's going to pass it to Gallagher. Gallagher loses the puck, and now here comes Tampa. James to, I think that's Bjorkstrand. Bjorkstrand loops it around, trying to get to the point, and he does. Diastis gets it deep, and now here's James. James to Goncalves. Goncalves trying to keep it in, and he does. Xhekaj fighting for it, and they do get it. Montreal flips it, and it's going to be just outside the line. Diastis is going to try to get it. He can't. Gallagher, nice takeaway to Danault. Danault to the net, and he's going to crash into Gallagher, and Tampa's going to regain possession, but there's a penalty here. A slash on, let's see here, it might be on Philip Danault. Let's see exactly what's happening here. Or it might be on Tampa. Let's see. There's definitely a slashing call on the play, and it's actually going to be on Diastis. Let's see here. So once again, Newhook with a stretch feed, and then Danault was able to get there. Actually, Gallagher and Diastis slash. It looks like Danault trying to go forward, and yeah, I think Diastis knew it. Let's see. Diastis, slashed on his knee. Oh, that doesn't look good. Danault seems to be all right, but Montreal's going to go to the power play. A slashing call on Diastis with just over 3 minutes left in the second period. It was a scoreless game so far between Montreal and the Tampa Bay Lightning. This is the third power play of the game and the second power play of the game for the Montreal Canadiens. So very interesting to note there. Montreal trying to get something going here, and it's Caulfield's going to be able to keep it into the offensive zone. Caulfield is going to lose the puck. Tampa trying to clear it out, and they do. It's back into the neutral zone. It looks like Boston's on the board in the Boston-Buffalo series. We'll see how that game goes in a minute. It looks like that was about 2 minutes into the second period. Once again, we'll check on the Boston-Buffalo game at intermission. 2:45 left in the second, 1:38 left in the period. Montreal regains entry into the offensive zone. Slavkovsky to Caulfield. Caulfield looking for a passing lane, gets it to Hudson. Hudson looking for a passing lane, gets it to Caulfield. Back to Hudson. Hudson back to Caulfield. Caulfield across to Slavkovsky, shoots, and actually that was Suzuki, but the puck goes off of a Tampa stick and out of play. Offensive zone face-off draw for Montreal with 1:20 left in the power play and 2:20 left in the second period. Really good puck movement there from Tampa, from Montreal. Got to Suzuki. He had some space, but another nice stop from Vasilevsky, and that one looked like it went out of play. So very interesting to note there. 1:20 left in the power play for the Montreal Canadiens. 2:25 left in the second period. So we are nearly done. The second period, Montreal and Tampa Bay. Let's see here. And let's see. Pass below the goal line. And it's Suzuki. Suzuki gets to the Slavkovsky. Back to the point. Hudson. Slavkovsky. Back to Suzuki. Back to Caulfield. And he just missed the pass. Tampa's off the boards. And he cleared. Nice try from Montreal. Hudson's back in his own zone to get it. Lane Hudson. Hudson's got it, skating in. He's got a little bit of space, sends it back to Suzuki. Suzuki walking into the offensive zone, drops it for Demidov. Demidov tries to send it back to Suzuki, but Tampa's able to get there, and they don't clear it. Demidov's got it to Caulfield. Caulfield shoots, and it's blocked. I think that was Lulberg. It's in the corner. Montreal, Tampa fighting for it. 38 seconds left in the power play. Minute 43 left in the second period. And Montreal trying to fight for it. Montreal and Tampa in the corner. A couple of Habs, a couple of Bolts. Slavkovsky gets it to the point to Hudson. Hudson trying to get it to Suzuki. Now, Demidov shot. Stop. Rebound. And Vasilevsky says no. What a stop. Two beautiful opportunities from Ivan Demidov. And he can't put it home. What a chance for Montreal. 19 seconds left in the power play. Minute 25 left in the second period, and it is still a scoreless game. Suzuki got to Demidov, who had a couple of nice chances, but Vasilevsky was able to keep that puck out of the zone. If the Bolts are going to have any chance of sending this series back to Tampa, Vasilevsky is going to have to be sharp. And so far, he has been. So really good stuff there for the Montreal Canadiens as, they try a couple of nice attempts, but Ivan Demidov is blocked twice by Andrei Vasilevsky. However, the Montreal Canadiens will have offensive zone face-off draw here. 19 seconds left on the power play. Minute 25 left in the second period. And now I think that's Kirby Dach in the face-off. He's going to be waved out. And now it's going to be, I think that's Alex Newhook. And the Montreal Canadiens are going to lose the draw. Chernak has it, cross to his forward killer, the forward penalty killer, and dumps it down. And that's going to do it for the power play, basically. 10 seconds left. Montreal trying to set one last rush. Matheson dumps it in, and Tampa's going to get there first. McDonough is going to lose the puck, though, to Bolduc, fighting for it in the corner, and that's Newhook's going to get it. A minute left in the second. Penalty is over. Nice play from Montreal. Gets it, shoots, and that one's not going to reach the goalie. Bolduc with a shot. That one went across the ice. Montreal's going to keep it in. It's Newhook, who gets whacked on the huge hit. Montreal gets out of the point, though. Passes it, shoots! Stopped by Vasilevsky. Montreal gets it back to the point. So it still feels like a power play. Matheson shoots. Blocked. Gets it back to the point. Matheson has it. Matheson gets it to a shot in front. They can't find it, and the puck goes wide. Bolduc gets it to Carrier, who gets it back to Matheson. Matheson can't hold the line, and with 24 seconds left, the puck goes out of the zone. Montreal trying one last rush here, and here comes Montreal. Nice play from Matheson, but too many Bolt sticks in front, and they can't get it. Hagel gets it to Kucherov, and Kucherov is going to lose it in the neutral zone. Montreal holds on with 10 seconds left, and this might be just content to wait it out. Nope, Evans has it in the offensive zone. Passes it across. Nice play, shoots. Stopped by Vasilevsky, and that's going to do it for the second period. Another couple of amazing opportunities for the Montreal Canadiens to end that second period, but Vasilevsky stood tall, and the Montreal Canadiens and Tampa Bay Lightning are going to intermission, still scoreless. Wow, so that has been a very interesting game so far. Let's wait and see here. Let's change this to intermission. So just give me a second here, guys. That's going to go to intermission again, as you are not missing anything. We are in intermission. Let's move that into the middle there. Okay, so it's intermission. Montreal, Tampa Bay, scoreless game so far. Both teams have had great opportunities, but it is still scoreless. So hold on here, guys. I'm just going to do the intermission report, and then we'll go check out Boston versus Buffalo. So let's see here. So the scoreline is scoreless, as you guys have seen. There have been no goals scored in this game. Shots are currently now 17-16 Montreal. So they were able to outshoot Tampa 10-7 in that period, and now will hold the lead in shots. So really good stuff there for Montreal. The Habs are 0 for 2 on the power play. The Bolts are 0 for 1 on the power play, so neither team has a power play goal yet. Face-offs still heavily favor Tampa. They've won 18 of 31 face-offs to Montreal's 13, so they do have the face-off advantage. Hits are currently in favor of Montreal, out-hitting Tampa 35 to 26. Blocked shots are favoring Montreal, blocking Tampa Bay 17 to 9. Block shots, giveaways are in favor of Montreal 11 to 10, and takeaways are 2 apiece. So lots of stats for Montreal after a really dominant second period, but both goaltenders were great, and that's why we are still in a scoreless game. So very interesting out there. Let's check out the Boston-Buffalo game. Boston has actually made it a 2-1 game in that game, which is a do-or-die game right now for the Boston Bruins. And it actually looks like Pastrnak, who I think scored that goal, is being helped to the locker room. So that is not good for Boston. Once again, 7 points in this series for David Pastrnak. Let's see how he scored that goal. Let's see here. Hold on a minute here, guys. Just rewinding the game for a few seconds. Let's see. Just give me 1 minute here, guys. And here we are. So it was a shot from Lyon. It was stopped. Buffalo had it. Tried to get it out. It was picked off by Boston. Lindholm got it. It was a 2-on-1 pass and shot score. Oh, Lyon was way out of his crease for that one. Yeah, Pastrnak ain't missing from there. So Pastrnak does have the tying goal. The first goal of the game so far from Boston. It's currently 2-1 Buffalo. The Sabres have gone 18 straight seasons without a playoff series win. So it has been a while since the Buffalo Sabres have been able to advance past round one. I think it was like 08 or 09 the last time the Buffalo Sabres were able to make it to round two. So let's see. Boston with a shot, stopped by Lyon. Shots are currently 13-9 in this series in this game for Buffalo. Boston with a couple of nice opportunities from Geekie. Can't get it. Boston has at the point. Aspiro kicks it. And Boston's going to get possession behind the net. Gets it back. Aspiro gets it to McAvoy. Shoots. Stopped by Lyon. Geekie's got it. And Geekie is going to lose possession of the puck. Powers got it. Trying to get it out. Can't. Benson, though, does get it. And here comes Buffalo. Maybe a little bit of a break here for, I think that was Zucker. And he's just going to dump it in. Buffalo trying to get a win here and end the series against the Boston Bruins. And now it looks like there's a stoppage in play. I don't know if there's a penalty on it or if this is just an actual stoppage. Shots are currently 13-9 in favor of Buffalo over the Boston Bruins. So we shall see what is going to be happening here. Once again, David Pastrnak with a beautiful goal, and that's made it 2-1. So we should change that. That game is going to a commercial break, so you are not missing a thing. Let's change this over here. Just give me a second here, guys. 1 minute, and that's going to go to 1. So Buffalo's at 2, Boston's at 1, and that's in the second period right now. It's in an intermission break, so you're not missing anything. But once again, in a very interesting game there, Buffalo trying to lock up their first playoff series win, and I think 18 or 19 years, basically 2 decades since they've been able to move on to round 2. So it's been a while. But once again, we have seen a couple of teams who have not been able to move on to round 1 for quite a bit of time do so this year. Minnesota, first playoff series win since 2015. Anaheim last night, first playoff series win since 2017. Philadelphia, first playoff series win since 2020. And that was the bubble playoffs, which was very, very confusing and weird. If you go beyond the bubble playoffs, I think the last time Philadelphia won a playoff series was 2012 or 2013. So it's been a while since like Philadelphia won a playoff series, since Philly won a playoff series. Minnesota, Anaheim, Montreal was there a couple of years ago in the shortened season. Once again, they put a little more stock into the shortened season than they do in the bubble playoffs. But once again, if you go back further, Montreal hadn't won a playoff series in quite a bit of time. Buffalo hasn't won a playoff series in quite a bit of time. We shall see if Vegas is able to win it, but if Utah comes back, they've never won a playoff series. So there's been a lot of teams this year who've been able to win the playoff series who have not in a long time. So we shall see if Buffalo is able to do it this year too. Once again, Montreal's only been 5 years since they've won a playoff series, but still, it's been a little bit of time. I mean, like if you look back at the last 5 years of conference final appearances, besides Montreal and the Islanders in 2021, there have only been 8 teams in both conferences total, so 4 teams in each conference, who have been to a conference final over the past 5 years. That's the Avs, the Stars, the Oilers and Knights in the West, and the 2 Florida teams, the Rangers and the Canes in the East. So those have been the dominant powerhouses since basically the 2020s. Tampa, Florida, Carolina, NYR in the East, and in the West, it's been Dallas, it's been Colorado, it's been Vegas, it's been Edmonton, who've all been to a Stanley Cup final. So once again, Montreal did have the fluke year in 2021. They were in the conference final for 1 year as the Western Conference champions for some odd reason. And then once again, the Islanders back just outside the last 5 years made it to back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals, but basically since the turn of the 2020s, it's been 8 teams. All of those teams have been basically the teams who have been able to dominate those sorts of conferences. And now Dallas is out. Edmonton's out. Colorado's still in there, but there's still a possibility that they could be out by Minnesota in round two. Vegas is still in. We'll see how tonight's game goes and how they potentially go if they go to a game seven. We'll see how the so once again, Vegas is still in, Colorado's still in, but Dallas and Edmonton are out. Florida didn't make the playoffs. The Rangers didn't make the playoffs. Tampa's on the brink of elimination if they lose tonight. And then, of course, Carolina's in the second round. So there are a couple of teams who have been in the dominance of being able to make it to the conference final over the past couple of years who are not currently in the who are currently still in the race for making it back to the conference final, but we shall wait and see. Buffalo currently has a power play right now. They are back here. Buffalo's won for their last 44 including the playoffs. 3 shorthanded goals, I think, was scored against them. So Buffalo's power play, dating back to the regular season, the last couple of games has been atrocious. So very interesting note there. Once again, 11 minutes left in the second period between Buffalo and Boston. Byram's got it, and Byram sends it to Quinn. Quinn sends it back to McLeod. McLeod gets into the offensive zone, has it. McLeod around the net. Here's Ryan McLeod, gets it to the point to Jack Quinn. Quinn looking for a passing lane. Quinn looking, trying to get a passing lane, and he is able to. McLeod has it, and they get it cleared. So Boston with another nice clearing attempt. So good stuff there from the Boston Bruins. Buffalo has it in their own zone. Bowen Byram's got it. Byram gets it into the offensive zone and gets it to Dahlin. Dahlin with a nice play there. Dahlin has it to Quinn. Quinn looking for a passing lane. Quinn in, shoots, and that's blocked. I made a little bit of a break. Nope, just backhands it into the defensive zone. Offensive zone for Boston. Defensive zone for Buffalo. 11 minutes left, and that basically is going to do it for the power play for the Buffalo Sabres. They're going to have another miss on their power play attempts. And here come the Buffalo Sabres. In, shoots! And that's stopped by Swayman. It goes to the corner. And Buffalo trying to fight for it. They do. They whip it around the boards. Geeky's got it, and he's going to send it. And that's going to be right on Alex Lyon, who's going to get it to Rasmus Dahlin, who's going to get it. And that's a turnover. Boston has it. I think that's Pastrnak. Pastrnak, who's now back on the ice. Boston's got it below the goal line. Gets it to Geeky. Gets it back to the point. And nope, there's actually a board battle here between a couple of Sabres and Bruins. And Buffalo's able to get there. Nice play from one of the Sabres players, and Pastrnak has to go back, or actually it's McAvoy has to go back and get it. Boston trying to get there, and they can't. Buffalo clears it out of the zone, and the Buffalo Sabres are going to try and get something going. Once again, you're not missing anything. Tampa Montreal is still in intermission, so you are not missing a thing. That game should be able to get going in the very near future. So very interesting to note there. Buffalo has it, and they just dump it in. Solid move there from the Buffalo Sabres. Shots are 15-10 in favor of the Buffalo Sabres. Once again, Utah-Vegas will be starting in about an hour's time. So that'll be very interesting. And then tomorrow's game 1 between the Carolina Hurricanes and the Philadelphia Flyers. So very interesting to note there. Boston shoots, stops, rebound. They're fighting for it. Lyon somehow kept it out below the goal line. Boston's got it again. Boston looking for a passing lane. Isamont gets it to Minton. Minton to the point. Gets it to, I think that's Steves. It's blocked. Maybe a break here for Thompson. Thompson, if he can hurry. He's got some wheels, but he's not able to get there in time. And Buffalo trying to get the puck. Krebs gets it around to Thompson, but he can't hold it. And now a couple of guys fighting for it in the boards. Byram elevates to try and get the puck back, and he does. Byram to the point to Krebs. Krebs back across, cannot hit Thompson. Now Tuck gets it to Norris. Norris is it in. Norris back to, I think that's Byram, shoots, stopped, and Boston's got it. Steves has it, and Steves dumps it into the neutral ice. We'll get back to Tampa Montreal in just a couple of seconds. Byram's got it to Krebs. Krebs across, and it's taken away Buffalo keeps the line. They hold it in. Here's Norris trying to get a stretch feed. Can't. Power at the point. Gets it in. Shoots wide. And now Boston's got it. Streaking in is Casey Middlestead. And he loses it. And here come the Buffalo Sabres again. Doan trying to get to it. And he can't. And Buffalo's now got it. And trying to get it onside, and they do. And now here comes Timmins coming into or McLeod coming into the offensive zone. Buffalo has it. Quinn shoots. No, he leaves it for McLeod. McLeod has to regroup. McLeod to the point, and that's a bad pass, and it goes out. Buffalo's got now Lyon. Nice pass to, I think that's Timmins. Timmins has it in the off defensive zone, back to the point, and they get it in, and now Buffalo's going to turn. Buffalo turns over the Boston. Boston gets it back. Quinn dumps it in for the Buffalo Sabres. And Boston has it in their own zone. Boston passes it across. Nice play. And now enter the offensive zone. Here comes, I think that's Pastrnak, but it's actually Geekie. Geekie gets it across to Pastrnak. And they do keep it into the offensive zone below the goal line. Here's Geekie. Geekie tries to wrap around try, can't. And now Buffalo's going to bank it off the boards and get it out. Chase after it, and Jokiharju is going to get there first. Shadowed by Zucker. Gets it to Zacha. Zacha hit off the puck, but now here's Hampus Lindholm. Hampus Lindholm to the point. Trying to get it around. Gets it to Zacha, and it's intercepted. Now here comes Buffalo. Once again, not any reinforcements there from Allen Stein. He's just going to dump it down into the Boston zone, and Greenway goes after it. Jordan Greenway against Jonathan Aspiro. Aspiro and Greenway going for it. And the Boston Bruins are able to keep it. Hampus Lindholm to Jonathan Aspiro. Aspiro to Pastrnak, and Pastrnak goes in. Pastrnak trying to get a little bit of a lane there. Can't. One of the Sabres are taken down, but I don't think there's a penalty call there. Powers got it. And once again, Power trying to get there. And here comes Samuelson. Leaves it for Power, but it's intercepted. Hunsinadinov gets it to the point and back across to 47. I think that was Costello's shot stopped. And now the puck goes out of the zone, and Boston has to regroup. Boston just sends it back into the Buffalo zone, and we will be tuning into that game in a minute. Once again, if you're just joining us, Montreal-Tampa is just in intermission. Just give me a second here, guys. Let me get this back to Montreal-Tampa. Let's see how this game's going. Once again, you are in a commercial break, so nothing you're missing right now. Once again, if you're just joining us, there's been a very good defensive battle, goaltending battle between Jakub Dobesh and Andrei Vasilevsky. Both goalies have been spectacular. They have been able to keep all the pucks out of the net, as we currently have a scoreless game between both teams. In intermission of the second period. The third period will be getting underway in just a few seconds. So far, we've had some good opportunities in both ways. A couple of power plays for both teams, but alas, no goals in this game. Tampa trying to send this thing back to Tampa for Game 7 on Sunday. Montreal trying to win this series on home ice in Game 6 and trying to end the Tampa Bay Lightning to advance to their first second-round appearance in 5 seasons. So that's what's at stake here for the third period upcoming between Tampa and Montreal. If you look down here at the game here between Boston and Buffalo, the Sabres opened up a 2-goal lead in the first period, thanks to a couple of goals, one from Alex Tuck and one from Matthias Samuelsson. And then in the second period, a nice goal from David Pastrnak will have given the Boston Bruins some life as they now trail 2-1 in the second period. That game is currently still going on, and we will be checking in on that game. But Montreal-Tampa looks like we'll just be getting underway in just a couple of seconds. And then later tonight, we do have an 8 p.m. start time between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Utah Mammoth Mountain Time. So that's very interesting. Once again, Utah is going to be trying to extend that series to 7 back in Vegas and trying to win on home ice to try and force a Game 7. Well, for Vegas, they're trying to do the exact same thing they did to Minnesota last year in Round 1, win in the opposing team's barn in Game 6 to advance to Round 2 and face the Anaheim Ducks. So those are going to be some very interesting games happening later tonight and going on right now. We shall change Montreal-Tampa to third period because that one is just about to get underway. Once again, we are still in intermission, so you are not missing a thing. Let's change this to the third period, and that should be getting underway in about the next 2 to 3 minutes. So once again, it's a commercial break. You're not missing a thing. The third period will be getting underway in the very near future. So let's move this back here. Hold on a minute here, guys. And once again, if you're joining us, leave a subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, leave a chat down below. Tell all your friends best hockey content on YouTube is right here at the End-to-End Hockey channel. So I really do hope that you guys are able to, once again, subscribe. We're trying to hit 750 in the very near future. Once again, we're just going to really quickly tune in here. Buffalo, Boston. There's 3.5 left in the second period in that game. So we shall see how that one's going to finish. Now, once again, my next live stream will probably be on Monday for one of the second round games. That will probably be my next live stream, so I hope you guys tune in for that, as well as Tuesday, as we're going to have the draft lottery live stream. So I hope you guys tune in for Monday and Tuesday. Those are probably going to be my next live streams. Well, once again, there's a possibility we do one on Sunday, but I have to figure out all the stuff first, so I'm not going to guarantee a Sunday live stream at this point in time. Once again, Buffalo's out shooting Boston 16-11. They're outscoring them 2-1, and they just dumped the puck into the Boston zone. Lindholm's got it back around to the point, and Boston's going to try and get there. They can't. Buffalo keeps it in. Nice play from Josh Doan. A little bit of space here. Doan trying to get a shot across. He can't. Puck goes out play. That's where we're going to leave that game right now. So we're going to go back to Montreal, Tampa Bay. Once again, later tonight we will have Vegas versus Utah. That game should probably go in about an hour's time. So very interesting to note there. I do appreciate you guys all for tuning in and for being able to make this a really good live stream. And I hope you guys leave a chat down below on what you think so far about this game. It's so far a scoreless game between Dobesh and Vasilevsky. You're not missing anything. It is a commercial break. We're just about to begin the third period. So don't go away as we're about to get to the third period here momentarily. So very interesting to note there. Once again, it is a very interesting game so far. In this game, once again, nothing surprising because this series has all the time been tight for the majority of the first 5 games. It was tied for the entirety of Game 6 so far. It's been tied. So a very interesting note there. Montreal trying to win on home ice, and Tampa Bay trying to get it to a Game 7. So we shall wait and see. There's a very likely possibility if Montreal and Vegas win and Buffalo holds their lead, we get no Game 7s in round 1, which would be absolutely shocking. Usually there's 2, maybe 3 Game 7s every year in round 1. And to get no Game 7s in round 1 would be surprising. So very interesting. Once again, they're just showing some of the highlights from the goaltenders who seem to have been given superhuman strength for this game. Dobish and Vasilevsky have both been lights out for the Habs and the Bolts, and was so far been a scoreless game for both sides. So very interesting. Some really good stops from both teams. And yeah, Vasilevsky and Dobish have deserved to be doing really, really good tonight. And once again, throughout the entire of the series, I mean, it was 4-3, 3-2, 3-2, 3-2, 3-2. So, I mean, like, besides the goal, the first game where Slavkovsky got the OT winner to win at 4-3, there's been no team who's been able to score more than 4 goals in a game this series. So, both goaltenders have been huge all series long. And this series has been close all series long. Face-off and neutral ice at the center mark. Habs trying to eliminate the Bolts. Bolts trying to force the Game 7 on Sunday. And it is Suzuki against Paul in the face-off dot, and Suzuki is going to win it. And here come the Habs in the neutral zone. Gooley dumps it into the Bolts zone. Tampa intercepts, and they get the puck back. Tipped in. Dobish stops the puck. Nice play there. And it's Lane Hudson who's going to try and set something up from his own zone. Lane Hudson gets it across to Suzuki. Suzuki stops up, dumps the puck around, can't. Tampa holds the line, and they get the puck out. Hudson gets it back again to Gooley. Gooley to the red line, dumps it in. Vasilevsky off his net behind the net to play it. McDonough's got it. McDonough trying to get around a Habs player, is able to, goes around the other side, and he passes it to Hagel. Hagel going around Anderson, and now he is going to be able to make a couple moves. Shoots! Stopped, it goes wide. A nice try there from, I think that was Kucherov. And now Montreal may have a little bit of a break here. Slavkovsky dumps it in. Or actually, that's the who dumps it in. And now here comes Moser. Moser trying to get the puck back, and Tampa is able to get there. Tampa gets it to the neutral ice. Anderson's going to flip it back to his defenders, and Montreal's going to just stop and wait for the puck. Matheson's got it. Matheson to, I think that's Carrier. Carrier is going to get it into the offensive zone for Montreal as the Habs go after it, trying to fight for that puck. Tampa loops around the boards, and they're able to chip it out. Montreal with the intercept. Carrier is going to get back into Tampa's zone, but Tampa really quickly intercepts. May have been a 2-on-1 break there, but they weren't able to get the puck, and it goes all the way down the ice for icing. 18 and a half left in the third period, and the Habs are about to get a offensive zone face-off draw. So very interesting there. Once again, the Stanley Cup Finals will be happening in June. It's going to be very interesting to see which of the final teams are going to be able to make it to the Stanley Cup Final. I will be trying to stream a couple of Stanley Cup Final games. Not sure if we'll be able to get to all of them, but we'll be trying to stream at least a couple of them. We got Tampa Bay versus Montreal here. Once again, offensive zone face-off draw for the Habs, and they do win it back to the point, but it's too far away from Struble, and the Habs have to go back into their own zone to get it. Xhekaj's got it. Xhekaj is going to skate a little bit here, go for a skate, passes across to one of the Habs forwards, and I think that's Gallagher. He's got it, shoots, stop, rebound, Newhook. Oh, he would have had a chance. Newhook, nice try. Struble's got the point. Sends it around to, I think that was Gallagher, to Evans. And it's intercepted by Gord, and the Habs trying to keep the line. They can't. Bolts intercept it, and they get out of the zone. And here's Lilleberg. Lilleberg is going to loop back around, fight for it along the boards. They can't find it. Let's see here, and the Habs do get back in their own zone. A little bit of pressure on Xhekaj, and he's just going to send it down the ice into the neutral zone. Montreal's got it. Doc's got it. Doc trying to find some sort of passing lane. Bolduc goes in to help him, as well as Perry and Point. Trying to fight for that loose puck. It does go to Montreal, but they can't hold the line. The Habs do get it, and they dump it into the offensive zone. 17 and a half left in the third period. Vasilevsky leaves it for his defender. And now McDonough leaves it for Chernak. Chernak gets it, tipped in, and here comes Braden Point. Point fighting for in the corner with Doc, with Gooley, trying to find that loose puck. Gensel as well is in there. And the puck is able to get free to, I think that's Goncalves. Goncalves gets it to the point, and they can't get it. It might be a 2-on-1 here for Montreal if they can hurry. Here it comes. Texier shoots, stopped by Vasilevsky. The puck goes up, and Tampa is able to regain possession in the defensive zone. Nice try from Texier. Here comes Point. Loses the puck, gets it back into his own zone. Suzuki trying to fight for it. He gets leveled, and the puck is loose along the side. Trying to find it. Slavkovsky and Suzuki fighting for it, and that's going to draw a whistle. Once again, I think Vasilevsky did have it, but Suzuki and Slavkovsky were trying to jam away at it. So, good opportunities there for the Habs. Some really good chances for Montreal. Once again, they're pushing and really trying to get the goal-head goal. But Vasilevsky's been really good, man. He's looking fantastic, and he's looking on one right now. Once again, a couple of nice opportunities here from Montreal. Some really good stick work from Gallagher. And once again, Montreal's just come out with a fire so far in their eyes in this third period. Once again, Texier, he hit it off the post. Off the outside of the post, it wasn't going in. But yeah, and then here's the little trying to get that loose puck. Vasilevsky was able to find it. Offensive zone face-off draw. Montreal gets it. Matheson has it. Rims it around the boards. Gets it to Anderson. Anderson right around again. And Kucherov is able to get there, but Montreal is able to get it back in the defensive zone, and they dump it back into the Tampa zone. Anderson trying to get to Deneau, can't, and the Bolts are able to get back into the neutral zone. And Montreal fighting for it. Deneau trying to get there, and Tampa is able to get that puck. Hagel dumps it into the offensive zone, and Montreal's going to refresh. Demidov behind his own net as both teams go off on a change. Drops it off for Matheson, and Demidov goes off for a change. Matheson in his own net, behind his own net with 16 minutes left in the third period. Once again, you're not missing anything. Matheson gets away, and now here comes Lane Hutson. Dumps it, nice pass, and they dump it into the offensive zone. Vasilevsky leaves it for Moser. Moser looking for a passing lane, gets it to Radish. Radish with a nice dump, and Montreal's going to get the puck in the defensive zone. Here is Hudson. Hudson gets it to Slavkovsky. Slavkovsky with a nice feed there, trying to get it to Suzuki, and Suzuki, nice play, trying to get away from Chernak. Caulfield also has it. They get it back to the point. Gooley's got it. Point blast! And that one just goes over the net, and the puck is still in play. Montreal's got it. Slavkovsky trying to get it. They can't. Suzuki now gets it back to the point. Hudson shoots! And that one looked like it took a deflection off of a Bolt player. Tampa and Montreal fighting for it in the corner. Moser's got it. Moser trying to find some sort of passing lane. Suzuki can't get to it. And Tampa's able to regain possession in the defensive zone. Chernak flips it out. Montreal keeps it in. Nice play from Lane Hudson. Passes it across, shoots! And they think that one went wide. Another nice try for Montreal. They are pressing. Montreal keeps it in. Here it comes. Hudson shoots. It goes wide. Tampa's able to get it back to the point, and this time they get it out. Huge clear there. Interception. Here's a breakaway. Tampa shoots. and stopped. And there's actually a slashing call on that play. Tampa's going to the power play. Or are they? I think so. I think Gensel wants a penalty shot. Let's see exactly what happened here. Once again, Montreal has been pressing all first, third period. They have been heavily out shooting Tampa. They just can't get anything past Vasilevsky right now. They've also been missing the net. And then here's the breakaway chance for Jake Gensel. He just took the puck off of Goulet, I think. And I think that might be a penalty on Goulet. I have to wait and see. I think it was hooking on Gensel. So let's see exactly what the penalty call is. Once again, Gensel I don't think got the shot away he wanted to, and I think that was because of Goulet. Yep. Goulet's in the box for slashing on a breakaway. I think Gensel wanted a penalty shot. That's why he was so upset. But there will be a 2-minute power play here for Tampa, now being outshot 21-17 by the Montreal Canadiens. I think outshot 4-1 in this period. Montreal is going to win the defensive zone draw, fight for it with Tampa. Tampa is able to keep possession, point below the goal line, gets it to Kucherov. Kucherov back below the goal line to Hagel or Gensel. Gensel tries to get it across, the Hagel can't. Radish holds the line, gets it to Kucherov, gets it to Gensel. A little bit of a bobbling puck, can't hold possession, and now Point gets it to Kucherov. Kucherov to Radish, shoots, and that one goes wide. Kucherov got it again at the point. Nikita Kucherov back to Gensel. Gensel on the wall, back to Hagel. Hagel trying to find some sort of passing lane. Hagel to Gensel along the wall. Back to Kucherov. Back to Radish. Back to Kucherov. Back to Gensel. Gensel to Radish. Shoots. And that one goes wide below the goal line. Gensel gets it back on the boards to Kucherov. Kucherov shoots. And that one goes wide as well. Radish gets it to Kucherov. Kucherov walks in. Backhand pass. Gets it to Gensel. Gensel and Kucherov swap spots. Kucherov gets it back. Kucherov looking for a passing lane. Can't. The Habs do get it. Radish holds the line, gets it to Gensel. 55 seconds left in the power play. Here's Kucherov. Back to Gensel. Gensel shoots. I think that one hit the post. They're saying no goal. Gensel had a beautiful opportunity, and he can't get it in. Tampa brings it back into the offensive zone, and now Kucherov can't hold the line. They get the puck out. 36 seconds left in the power play for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Tampa bringing it back in. And one of the Montreal players lost his stick. Now Tampa gets at the point. Radish. 25 seconds off the power play. Kucherov shoots. That one was stopped by Dobesh. And what are they saying? Is that a high stick or something? Vasilevsky's got it in his own zone. Puck went down. And let's see here. Tampa Bay's got it again. Radish to, I think that's Point, or actually it's Dominic James who dumps it in, goes chase after it. James trying to fight for it with Hudson. And the Habs are able to get there. Hudson cannot clear his zone, but the penalty is over. Tampa with another nice shot, can't get there, and now Montreal's able to get there. Goulet, nice job. And Deneau trying to feed it to Anderson. Anderson shoots! Stopped by Vasilevsky. Nice try from Deneau to feed Anderson. And now here comes Goncalves. Goncalves to James. James shoots! Stopped by Dobesh. And that is going to be another face-off in the offensive zone for the Tampa Bay Lightning. So very interesting out there. Some great opportunities. I got to see some of these replays because Gensel looked like he had a great opportunity, and there was a few opportunities here. Kucherov shot hit the post. A nice shot from Kucherov that hit the post. Gensel's shot hit the iron. Like there were a couple of really close opportunities there for Kucherov. And then, of course, that's what they were calling for. Bolts want a high stick off of one of the Habs players. And then, of course, Anderson with a nice shot. Good save from Vasilevsky. This one might be a scoreless game going to overtime. Like both goaltenders are playing absolutely fantastic. This is sort of getting the feel of like that Pittsburgh-Philadelphia game from a couple of nights ago when Philadelphia ended the Pittsburgh Penguins on home ice. Like both goaltenders with Vladar and Silovs were great in that game. This is sort of reminiscent of that one. Both goaltenders have been fantastic, and that's why we're still in a scoreless game. You're not missing anything. We're in a commercial break, so that is why there's nothing here right now. Let's see for a second here, guys. Just give me a minute. Just want to check something. Let's see if the Boston Buffalo game should be an intermission, I think. And it looks like it is an intermission. Okay, so Boston Buffalo's an intermission. You're not missing anything there. So very interesting stuff there. Once again, I do appreciate you guys all for tuning in. Love to hear your thoughts down in the chat and the comments below. Which series, if any, do you think is going to be able to reach a Game 7 tonight? And what do you think will happen in round 2 of the playoffs? Who lines up going to the conference finals? Who do you think has the best chance in the two confirmed matchups? Will it be Minnesota or will it be Colorado? Will it be Carolina or will it be Philadelphia? So that's going to be very interesting. Once again, let's just see here for a second. You're not missing anything. We're currently in a commercial break for Tampa and Montreal and intermission for Buffalo Boston. So if we're already here, we are going to change Buffalo Boston to the third period. I'm just going to change that here really quickly because that should be underway in the third in the very near future. And once again, in about 40 minutes' time, the Golden Knights will be taking on the Utah Mammoth. So that's going to be the late game tonight with a chance to end it for Vegas and for Utah a chance to send it to a Game 7. Once again, Hagel was very, very upset at the rest after there was no call on a high stick that he suffered from. So that's why Hagel was incensed during the play. And once again, Kucherov getting some explanation from the refs. So once again, interesting note there. Hagel being attended to. Looks like he actually got his lip cut too, so that could have been a double minor. So I think the Habs really escaped with one there. Very interesting. Cooper's just listening on the bench to the ref's explanation. And once again, they're just discussing with the Tampa Bay Lightning bench and their players. So once again, this is why there's a stoppage in play right now. Once again, Cooper is incensed with Hagel bleeding. So that's not great news there. Once again, looks like Matheson. Oh no, it was actually Point who got the high stick. And Matheson's shot went right off of Point. Matheson tried to clear the puck. His stick got caught up, Point up high. Point's the one who's bleeding, not Hagel. And Hagel was just incensed at the fact that wasn't called. So a really good break there as the Habs could have had a 4-minute double minor, and instead it's still a 5-on-5 right now. Shots are 22-19 for Montreal. They win the defensive zone faceoff draw, and here comes Matheson. Loses it, shoots. Hagel can't put it on net. And Montreal trying to get the puck out of their own zone. Board battle. Tampa keeps it. Kucherov to Hagel, shoots, and that one went way wide. Matheson's got it. Below the goal line, gets it to Deneau, and Deneau with a nice backhand feed, trying to stretch feet, and here it comes. Josh Anderson tries a shot, stop on Vasilevsky, and Vasilevsky is going to be able to pick up his stick as the puck goes back into the neutral zone. Tampa's got it. Tampa Bay, Darren Radish enters the offensive zone, gets it to Hagel. Hagel to Kucherov with a blast, stopped by Dobesh. Now Cirelli's got it. And that puck goes all the way down the ice after a missed pass. And Vasilevsky's going to stop it for Darren Radish. Radish, looking for a passing lane. Gets it to McDonough. McDonough to James. James, streaking up the wing. Gets it. And now here comes Montreal's the intercept. Bolduc shoots. Stopped. And now Montreal has to backtrack after Tampa has the puck. Lilleberg hit off the puck by Gouli, but Goncalves keeps it. Shoots. Deflected, and Montreal is able to regain possession. Montreal, 11 minutes left in the third period. Gouli is able to get the puck, goes after it against Lilleberg, and the Montreal Canadiens do gain possession for a second. Tampa has now got it, and they get out of the zone. Here comes Bjorkstrand, entering the offensive zone. Gets it to Goncalves, shoots, stopped, and Goncalves keeps possession of the puck. Goncalves is going to fight for it along the boards. I think Goncalves actually lost his stick. Or Doc did. One of those two did. Once again, board battle. 3 Habs, 2 Bolts fighting for it along the boards. Cirelli goes in to try and get it, and he does. Cirelli tries to feed it across the boards, and he does to Chernak. And Bolduc is able to hit it across. Might be a little bit of a break here. Montreal is just going to dump it in, and they're going to go off for a change. So good stuff there from Tampa and Montreal. And Tampa's going to hold the line behind their own net. Chernak's got it. Shots of 24-21 Montreal. Just over halfway left to go in the third period. Montreal's got it now in their own zone. Matheson with a nice little feed there to Slavkovsky. Might be a 4-on-3 break here for the Habs. Slavkovsky gets it across. Cannot hit it to Caulfield. Once again, Slavkovsky is able to get it. Tries to feed it to Suzuki Canton. Now here comes a break for Tampa. The Bolts have it. Into the offensive zone. Back across, nice try, could not get it, and now goes back into the neutral zone. Slavkovsky racing for it, cannot get there before Perry does. Slavkovsky, Perry fighting for it. Perry tries to get it to Radish, can't, and now here comes along the wing Matheson. Matheson drops it off, gets it back to Suzuki, shoots, And that one I think went way over, and McDonough's able to get there in their own zone. McDonough to Perry, Perry to Hagel. Hagel, he's got the puck, and he's going to be hit off the boards. Suzuki's got it now. Suzuki back to Hudson, and Hudson's going to leave it for Matheson. Matheson's going to wait in his own defensive zone. 9.5 left in the third period. Scoreless game so far. And here comes the Montreal Canadiens trying to weave their way through the brick wall of Tampa Bay players. Montreal's going to leave it. Newhook cannot get there. Evans tries to fight for it, can't, and now here comes Point. And the defensive zone tries to reset. Point gets it to Kucherov, I think that was. Dobesh stops it, and Goulet is able to hold the line. Goulet gets it, and now maybe a little bit of a break here for Gallagher, but Tampa's back to get it. Moser's got it. Back to the point, and Montreal intercepts, and now here's Evans across to Demidov. Demidov trying to get something going, shoots! Beautiful backhand try, but it goes wide. Tampa's able to get there. Now here's a little bit of a break for the Bolts. They're just going to dump it in, and Montreal's not going to be able to get it out. Held in by Paul. Nick Paul loops around, takes a shot, stop, rebound! How does that puck not go in? Dobesh with a spectacular save. And now there's pushing and shoving everywhere. Moser's got his helmet off. Strubal's got his helmet off. And pushing and shoving way in front of the goaltender Jakub Dobesh. Anderson's tangled up with, I think that's Chernak, if I'm correct. And there's a lot of pushing and shoving. Yep, Chernak and Anderson are tied up against each other. Once again, shots are now 25-21 Montreal. It should be 1-0 Tampa. There should be some goals on the board. Both goaltenders have been playing spectacularly in this game. 8.5 left in the third period. I'm guessing we're probably going to go to a TV timeout after this, and it looks like we are. Very interesting stuff so far. Once again, just showing some of the highlights. Bolduc with a nice shot stopped by Vasilevsky, and then a nice try from Ivan Demidov. Nice stop from Vasilevsky, and then a really good try from, I think that was Moser, and somehow Dobesh was able to find the loose puck. We go to a commercial break. It is still a scoreless game between Tampa and Montreal. No goals have been scored as of yet. We'll really quickly go over and see if Buffalo-Boston started yet. It looks like the Buffalo-Boston game is just about to get underway. It looks like. There might still be a couple minutes left in intermission there. So once again, we will keep tabs on the Buffalo-Boston game, which is just about to enter the third period. So very interesting note there, but we'll go back to Tampa-Montreal. That game should be able to get going in the very near future. Once again, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the games that have so far happened today and that could happen later tonight. Who do you think is going to win Game 1 between Carolina and Philadelphia tomorrow? My money's on Carolina, but Philadelphia showed in that last series they are a very resilient team. So I would probably guess Carolina, but I wouldn't be surprised if Philadelphia took the 1-0 series lead. It'll be very interesting to see if we see any Game 7s this year in round 1. Currently, Montreal-Tampa is scoreless. Winner goes on to take the 1-0 series lead. Or winner, if Montreal wins, they get the 6-game series win, and they advance to round 2 for the first time in 5 years. If Tampa wins, then they send this thing back to a Game 7 in Tampa on Sunday. So that's what's at stake there. Buffalo is 20 minutes away from getting their first series win in nearly 2 decades. It has been a while since the Buffalo Sabres were able to make it past round 1 into round 2. Boston trying to force a Game 7 back in Buffalo. So that's going to be very interesting. And then later tonight, the Knights play the Mammoth. Both teams trying to get the win. Vegas trying to end the series in advance to play the Anaheim Ducks. And Utah trying to force a Game 7 on Sunday. So those are going to be some very interesting games that happen today. Once again, they're just showing all the Montreal Canadiens players that are coming up back onto the ice during the intermission break. So once again, we'll see how this goes. Montreal is playing Tampa right now. There's 8.5 minutes left. I think there's an offensive zone face-off draw for Tampa. Tampa trying to save their season. Montreal trying to advance to round 2. So this is going to be a very interesting final 8.5 minutes of this game. Just showing some of the Montreal fans on the screen here. And once again, that building is buzzing. If Montreal scores, the roof's going to pop off of the Bell Center. So it'll be very interesting to see if they are able to get that goal. At this point, with 8.5 left, with how good the goal is, they've been playing, it sort of feels like next goal wins at this point. It feels very similar to that Pittsburgh-Philadelphia game from Wednesday when the Pittsburgh Penguins and Philadelphia Flyers went to overtime in a scoreless game, and Philadelphia was able to win in the later stages of the first overtime. This sort of has that sort of a feel to it. So we shall wait and see. Points got it. And in the face-off dots, he's going to face off against someone else. They actually bring this face-off outside the Montreal blue line. I think it's going against Suzuki, and it is Suzuki who wins it. Slavkovsky gets it back to Hudson, or actually Gooley gets it back to Hudson, and Hudson's going to leave it back for streaking Nick Suzuki. Suzuki is going to loop back to Hudson, and Hudson's going to bring it into the offensive zone. Here's Hudson. There's actually 4-on-4. That's why it was a neutral zone face-off draw, and a little bit of extra space on the ice. Tampa's going to get it back in their own zone. Here's McDonough. McDonough with a minute and a half left in the 4-on-4 gets it across, and here comes Tampa. They're going to loop back around. That's Lilleberg. Lilleberg sends it to Hagel. Hagel gets it to McDonough, and here comes McDonough, or Diastis into the offensive zone. Blocked shot. He's going to get the puck back. Diastis across, and he's going to get it back to Hagel, I think that is. Hagel looking for a passing lane, can't find it. Gets it to Radish. Radish shoots, and it's stopped. Where's that puck? Dobesh, I think, covered it. Oh, Dobesh did not know where that puck was, but he's able to get it frozen with a minute and 8 seconds left in the 4-on-4. That was very nearly a disaster for the Montreal Canadiens. So really good stuff there once again. Scoreless game so far in this game between the Montreal Canadiens and the Tampa Bay Lightning. So it's been a very tight, interesting battle. Here's the shot. Radish with a point shot. It was tipped by Diastis low, and Diastis and Dobesh did not know where that puck was. He found it and was able to hold on to it. So really good stuff there. Minute 8 seconds left on the 4-on-4. 7:40 left in the third period, and was so far a scoreless game here between the Bolts and the Habs. Do or die game for the Bolts, and Habs have a shot here to advance to round 2. Defenses on face-off draw for Montreal and Jake Evans going out there against Gensel, I think that is, and Gensel does win it to the point. Get it back to Radish. Kucherov shot blocked, and now maybe a 2-on-1. Nope. But Montreal is trying to chase after the puck. Radish has it in his own zone. He's going to stop behind his own net with 56 seconds left on the 4-on-4. Radish has it. Radish to, I think that's Point. Point gets it across to Kucherov. Kucherov, 1-on-4, shoot, stop. Rebound that just trickles wide. A nice try from Nikita Kucherov, but Dobesh stands tall. Here come the Montreal Canadiens. Here comes Tampa again, keeping it in the zone. Gensel to Kucherov. Back to Gensel, but he can't handle the puck. Montreal's able to get there for a second, and the Montreal Canadiens do get it. Potentially a 3-on-3 here. Carey has got it. 25 seconds left in the 4-on-4. Gets it to Matheson. Matheson is going to send it to the point. No one's there, and Montreal's just going to have to regroup. 18 seconds left in the 4-on-4. Scoreless game right now. 6:45 left in the third period. Montreal's going to send it back to Gooley. Gooley sends it to Slavkovsky. And here comes Uri Slavkovsky. Slavkovsky into the open space. Can't get it, but Hudson does. Gets it across. Shoots! Oh, another nice try from Suzuki, I think that was, but he couldn't get there. Slavkovsky to the point. And Gooley sends it back in. He's able to keep the line. Suzuki's got it. Suzuki fighting for it with Lilleberg, and the Bolts are going to be able to get the puck, and they flip it. Nope, it's held on by Montreal. Montreal keeps it in the offensive zone. Lilleberg gets it to Kucherov. Kucherov, oh, he gets whacked by one of the Habs players. Now James has it into the offensive zone. Dobesh is going to get the puck. Leo for Hudson. They're going to reset. 6 minutes left here in the third period. Demidov's got it. Demidov making some people miss. Get into the offensive zone. Trying to go around. Some people can't. Demidov lets it around to the point. Xhekaj gets it to the below the goal line. Montreal keeps it in. Deneau looking for a passing lane. Being chased by James and Chernak. Anderson's got it. And Deneau is able to get there for a second. Fighting for it with Goncalves in the boards, trying to get the puck loose, and James now has it. James trying to find the loose puck, can't get it. The nose got it. Now James has it, and the Bolts are able to not gain possession of the puck. Xhekaj's tripped up, no call looks like on the play. And here comes Tampa. 5:20 left in the third period. Still a scoreless game between the Bolts and the Habs. Here comes Tampa, and they're going to dump it into the Habs zone. And Montreal's going to be able to get around the boards. Xhekaj's got it. He's going to hold the stick. And they're going to be able to get to Struble. Struble, nice long stretch feed here to neutral ice. Montreal can't get to it. It's dumped into the Tampa zone. And Diastis has it now. Diastis gets it to Lilleberg. Lilleberg tries to center a feed there. Can't. Lane Hudson gets it to the neutral ice. And Tampa's going to be able to get it back into the offensive zone. Dumped in around the boards. Montreal's got it. Gets it back to Gooley. Gooley with 4:40 left in the third period sends it to, I think that was Bolduc. And now here comes in the defensive zone McDonough. gets it across, and Tampa stretch feet. Here they come. Tampa Bay into the offensive zone. Chernak trying to get it, and he can't. Lane Hudson's got it around the boards. And here comes Tampa. Point shot by Nick Paul, but can't get it. Another nice shot trying to find some sort of a stick in front, can't. Montreal on the boards. Chernak holds the line. Chernak across to Paul. Paul looking for a passing lane, and he is able to get it. Their point shot stopped by them, and they are not able to get there. Montreal's got to the point. And here comes Montreal. Slavkovsky's got it. Backtracks it, and there's maybe a turnover here. Nope. Nick Paul's able to get there in time. Once again, trying to get that stuff going. And here comes Montreal. Lane Hudson gets to Suzuki. Suzuki to Caulfield. Caulfield in. Shoots! And it's stopped by Vasilevsky. Another nice stop from Andrei Vasilevsky. So good stuff there from Vasilevsky. And he's going to cover up with just a few minutes left in regulation time. Once again, some really good opportunities on both ends for Tampa and for Montreal. But Dobish and Vasilevsky have stood tall on the task tonight. Hudson with a nice try to Suzuki. And if that didn't hit a stick, it might have gone in. Nice try from both sides, but still a scoreless game. We're going to a commercial break. Let's see if Buffalo-Boston started, and it has. Boston has in the offensive zone, gets the point, shot, and that one looks like it hit someone in front. Boston still got some opportunities here. Boston shoots, and that's stopped by Lyon, and Buffalo just needs to hold on to this lead. Buffalo does have the puck, and they're trying to get it out, and they do. 17:52 left. Zucker hobbling to the bench. Not great stuff there for the Buffalo Sabres. Boston just passing it around for a little bit here. And once again, you're not missing anything. Commercial break in Montreal, Tampa. Buffalo's got it in the defensive zone. Turns it over to Boston. And it looks like Buffalo's going to be able to retain possession of that puck. Powers got it and sends it deep. Here comes Buffalo. Oh, interception. Kozak tried to get it deep. Could not. And Greenway can't get it across to, I think that was Malenstein. Here come Buffalo trying to get something going here. Shots on 19-15 Buffalo, still leading 2-1. The Buffalo Sabres trying to end their long drought of not winning a playoff game. And it looks like there's a stoppage in play here. And I do wonder if that's like a penalty or something. Interesting note there, but that game's still very close. We'll head back over here to Tampa Bay, Montreal, as both these teams try and get the go-ahead goal. This could be heading to overtime. We've done one overtime playoff live stream so far. That was a couple days ago in Game 5 between Boston and Buffalo, where the Boston Bruins were able to win in overtime and send this series to a Game 6 tonight. So that was our only game so far that has actually hit overtime. But we're back here, Montreal, Tampa Bay, just went back into the Montreal Canadiens arena. Once again, there'll be a face-off between Montreal and Tampa here. And we shall see who wins this face-off. Montreal in the offensive zone, they do win it back to the point. Here is Carrier, I think it is. Carrier with a shot, and that one went wide. And now here's Tampa with trying to get it out, and they do. Here's Radish elevating in the play, gets it to Kucherov, and the puck is intercepted. Evans has it to Demidov. Demidov's got it. Demidov into the offensive zone, making some people miss. What a play! Demidov! He can't put it home, and now Radish has a little bit of a step here, but a couple players fall down, and Tampa Bay, and actually there's going to be a penalty here on Montreal. Oh, the Bolts are going to the power play with 3:18 left in the game. I think that's what it was. Demidov, I think, is going to the box for tripping. Let's see if that's the call here. And Montreal fans are looking on in shock as it looks like Montreal is going to be shorthanded for the next 2 minutes. Yep, Demidov to the box. 2-minute power play for Tampa. Once again, some really great movement from Demidov trying to work around a couple of the Bolts defenders, and he was able to. And then I guess they're calling goalie interference on Demidov, I'm guessing. Let's see here. Yeah, it looks like it'll probably be goalie interference on Demidov. I don't really know about that call, especially this late into the game. He definitely went into Vasilevsky, but I think that was a little bit of accidental contact. So, yeah, it looks like goalie interference on Ivan Demidov. Let's see if that is the call. Yep, goalie interference. And that could be the game-deciding penalty if the Bolts score on the power play. So, big moment here for the Tampa Bay Lightning to get the go-ahead goal to send the thing back to Tampa Bay for a Game 7. Let's see what happens here. And I do appreciate you guys all for tuning in. Once again, if you're leaving, leave a subscribe, leave a like, tell all your friends best hockey content on YouTube right here at the End-to-End Hockey channel. Evans tries to get it against Gensel, can't. Going to redo the face-off. And once again, Evans against Gensel in the face-off to the right of Jacob Dobash. And it is going to be won by Evans. Matheson gets it, loops it around the boards, and Kucherov is able to hold the line to point to Hagel. Hagel gets it to just waiting to Radish. Radish gets it to Kucherov. Kucherov to Gensel. Gensel to Kucherov. Kucherov at the point. Shoots one, and it's blocked by one of the Habs players, but they stayed in the line. Gensel to Kucherov. Shoots. Stopped by Dobesh. And the Montreal Canadiens can't get to it. Tampa holds the line. Hagel trying to get to it. Bar battle behind the net. Trying to find the loose puck. Both Tampa and Montreal. And the puck goes to the point. Gensel, with no one in front, is going to wait. Get it back to Kucherov, trying to set something up here. Kucherov to Gensel. Kucherov shoots. Stopped. A minute 15 left in the power play. Back to the point. Gensel to Radish. Shoots. Stop. Rebound. And the puck goes out. What a clear from Alex Newhook. 2:25 left third period. Minute left power play. Here comes Tampa. Jake Gensel to Brennan Hagel. Gets it across to Kucherov. Back to Hagel. Hagel walking in. Shoots. Trying for a pass. Gets it to Gensel. To Kucherov. Radish. Tries another pass. Gensel. Kucherov. Kucherov shoots. Stopped. It goes wide. Montreal trying to get that puck out, and they can't. Fighting for it along the corner. 40 seconds left. Gensel's got it. Back to the point. To Kucherov. Kucherov looking for a passing lane, gets to Gensel. Gensel trying to get fast in front. Point tried to shoot it, fan on it. Kucherov's got it. Shoots it again, stopped by Dobesh. 27 seconds left on the power play. Gensel to Radish. Stopped, and I think that puck went wide. Hagel's got it. To Gensel. There's about 19 seconds left on the power play. Kucherov. Radish. Kucherov shoots. It goes off. Rebound. Stopped. Another shot. It goes wide. 10 seconds left. Kucherov holds the line. Gets it to Radish, and I think the Habs might get it. Nope, but there's only 3 seconds left on the power play. Cirelli gets it to Radish. Gets it in front. Shoot. Stopped by Dobesh. Covers up. And there's a minute 15 left. The Habs have killed off the penalty. More pushing and shoving after the whistle. But what a penalty kill at this point in the game from the Montreal Canadiens. The Habs fans are on their feet. They're waving their towels. They are ecstatic. What a penalty kill from Montreal to keep this a scoreless game. What an effort from Montreal. And now there's a minute 15 seconds left. Some really good options. Radish had good shots. Stopped by Dobesh. Then Point had a nice opportunity. There was a little bit of room out there, but a nice tie-up on a stick. And then Montreal and Tampa tried to get after it. Tampa with a shot. Nice play from Dobesh. What a penalty kill from the Montreal Canadiens. And Dobesh and all the Habs penalty killers were just blocking shots or stopping shots. Kept that puck out of the net. A really good chance, and now that last one from Hagel, and that's going to earn himself a shove from, I think it was Caden Gooley. So back to 5-on-5 for a minute and 15 seconds left, and if there's no goal in the next minute 15, we're going to overtime, folks. For the second time in the last, I think, 3 days, we're going to have a scoreless game go to overtime if there's no goals here. Carrier's got it. Once again, Habs and Bolts players fighting for it, and the Habs are able to get there, maybe a little bit of a break here. Nope, intercepted by Tampa. And Tampa's got it now again. Once again, the Habs and the Bolts trying to fight for it. And Montreal's got it. Montreal around the edge tries to get it to Tampa, and they do. And Tampa's gone their own zone, trying to set something up here. Tampa is going to get it going. Calvis gets it to a point. Intercepted. Trying to get a backhand pass. They can't. Puck goes out, 40 seconds left, and Hudson's going to refresh. Hudson's got it again. Hudson with a stump in, dumps and chases. Vasilevsky's got it now with 30 seconds left below the goal line. Gets it to Chernak. Chernak speeds it up to Montreal's end. Now Gooley's got it with 25 seconds left in the third. Trying to get something going here. Here come the Habs. Interception. Nope. Montreal keeps it. Back across. Anderson's got it. Anderson to the point. Tries to keep it in. They do. Anderson to Deneau. Deneau trying to get back to Anderson. Can't. There's 10 seconds left. At the point. Shoots. Gooley. Stopped. Rebound. It goes wide. Anderson's got it with 5 seconds left. Anderson to the point, and another nice shot from Gooley, and shoots, stopped, and just as time runs out, we are going to overtime. What a conclusion to this game, and the Montreal Canadiens and Tampa Bay Lightning are going to go to overtime. So very interesting note there. Let's change this to intermission. So hold on a minute here, folks. Let's change this to the intermission blocks. Once again, it has been a very interesting game. Intermission so far. Okay, let's change this up over here. So the next 18 minutes, you'll not be missing a thing. We will be getting right away in overtime in about 20 minutes. So hold on a minute here, folks. I'm just going to give you guys the stats for the third period. I have a couple of things really quickly here to do, and then we'll be really quickly checking in on the Boston-Buffalo game. So at the end of the third period, shots are currently 28-27 in favor of the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Habs now have the face-off percentage lead. They have 21 face-off wins to Tampa Bay's 20, so a slight edge in Montreal's favor. Both teams have taken a couple of penalties. The Habs are 0 for 2. The Bolts are 0 for 3 on the power play. Hits 46-31 in favor of the Montreal Canadiens. Blocked shots 21-10 in favor of the Montreal Canadiens. Giveaways 16-12 in favor of the Montreal Canadiens, and takeaways 5-3 in favor of the Tampa Bay Lightning. So very interesting note there. Some very interesting games so far. Those are some very interesting stats. So very interesting. Once again, just give me a second here, guys. I just got to type something out. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit longer than usual, but we are going to be doing another very interesting overtime game stream here. So very interesting game so far. Scoreless. This is the exact same thing that happened a couple nights ago in Philadelphia when Pittsburgh and Philadelphia went to overtime. So hold on a minute here, guys. Once again, we will be getting to Boston Buffalo momentarily. So hold on a minute here. Hold on. Initially sought. Okay, so there's going to be overtime coming up here in the very near future. Just give me a second there. Okay, so we are good there. And now let's go to Boston Buffalo and see how things are going. So let's see here. Buffalo, it's 3-1. I did not get any notifications about that. They must have just scored. Let's see here. Once again, Buffalo, let's see here. Buffalo Doan was pressuring, got to Benson, and the shot was was that in? How the heck did that go in? It looks like Zach Benson scored. 3-1 Buffalo. They are on the precipice of going to round 2. Let's see exactly how the heck that puck went in. Benson, what a shot. Let's just see here. They got the replay. Once again, Boston won the offensive zone, but Pastrnak fumbled it. Doan was able to beat out Pastrnak and McAvoy for that puck. Got to Benson, and I want to see the replay on that. Let's see, Benson with a shot. Oh my gosh, what a shot. That one went just between the glove and the blocker of Jeremy Swayman and has put it in. Buffalo's up 3-1 on the Boston Bruins. What a goal from Zach Benson. Shots are now 21 apiece. There's 12 and a half minutes left in that game, and Buffalo is well on their way to potentially winning all 3 road games in the series and taking a win on the series over the Boston Bruins. Wow. Let's just change that up here. Hold on a minute here, folks. Just going to change this up here. This is going to go to 3. And the Buffalo Sabres are looking phenomenal to potentially end the series tonight. So that is looking fantastic. Once again, we'll be keeping tabs on this one and on the Utah-Vegas game, depending on how long Montreal-Tampa goes. Boston has in the offensive zone, shoots, it's blocked, and Tuck is able to get the puck. He just chips it out and not able to get very far. Buffalo's got back in their own zone. Timmins to Samuelson, and now they tip it into the defensive zone. Swayman's got it. Swayman looking for some sort of a passing lane, gets it to Zadorov. Zadorov along the boards, and Buffalo is going to intercept it in their own zone. 11 and a half left to go in the third period. Buffalo up on Boston 3-1. Boston's got it. Middlestat gets it in. Buffalo's now got it again. Dahlin to one of his defensive partners. and Buffalo's going to get it, and they're going to keep it in. Norris to Benson, Benson to they take it out, and Norris takes a huge hit, but Benson's able to make a play. Nice stop there. Once again, you're not missing anything. Intermission going into overtime between Tampa Bay and Montreal. Scoreless game, by the way. We're just looking at Buffalo-Boston here. It's a 3-1 Sabres lead. 11 minutes left. A win, and Buffalo makes their second round for the first time in ages. 6 goals by the defenseman, most in a series in franchise history for the Buffalo Sabres. Tells you how little playoff success they've had. Once again, Boston in, shoots, stopped by Lyon, and now some more scrums in front of the net of the Buffalo Sabres. So very interesting to note there. Wow, it has been such an interesting game of hockey so far today. But once again, a fantastic shot from Zach Benson has just given the Buffalo Sabres the insurance marker. They lead 3-1, and they're up 3-2 in the series, a chance to eliminate the Boston Bruins. So really good stuff there. Lyon's been pretty good all game long. Like if this score holds and he doesn't give up another goal, he will have given up 1 goal in each of the 4 games he's or 1 goal in 3 of the 4 games he's played in this series, and only gave up 2 goals because the game went past regulation. So once again, Lyon has been absolutely doing great and has actually been outdueling Swayman, which is something to be said. So I think going into that second round series, if they do hold on for this win, whether it's against Montreal or Tampa, I think Lyon's going to be the one who ends up starting in net. So very interesting to note there. Once again, this game is about to go to overtime. Scoreless game so far, no goals. Dobeš and Vasilevsky have both been brilliant. And once again, this is the 4th overtime game of this entire series. So once again, this series has been decided by 1 goal in each game. 4-3 overtime, Tampa. 3-2 overtime, Montreal. 3-2 overtime, Montreal. Oh, it was 4-3 overtime Montreal, 3-2 overtime Tampa, 3-2 overtime Montreal, 3-2 in regulation Tampa, 3-2 in regulation Montreal, and this game's going to overtime. So once again, the goalies have been a huge story. Dobeš has been able to go toe-to-toe with Andrei Vasilevsky, and that is a huge reason why Montreal is in this position to potentially be 1 goal away right now from advancing to round 2. So I don't know how long it'll take. Once again, the last overtime game we did, I think, took about 10 minutes to get an overtime winner. We'll see if it lasts longer than that. Could we be going into double overtime like Vegas, Utah did a couple nights ago? That's a possibility. So we should wait and see what happens here. This is going to be a very interesting game. Once again, if you guys didn't tune into last night's stream, we saw the Minnesota Wild take down the Dallas Stars 5-2. First playoff series win by the Minnesota Wild in ages. 11 years to be exact. So they're going to be going to play the Colorado Avalanche, and the Anaheim Ducks took out the Edmonton Oilers for the 2. I know the Oilers were a little bit banged up, but still, the Ducks did a really good job and were able to get to the second round for the first time since 2017. So some new teams entering the mix in the Western Conference in round 2, which is something you just love to see. Now when it comes in here, Buffalo, Boston. Boston is going to get the puck in the defensive zone. Backhanded pass, and here comes McAvoy. Nice stretch feed, and Buffalo's going to get the interception, and they dump it back into the Boston zone. Boston's going to get it. Aspiro's got it, gets it to Charlie McAvoy, or actually gets it to Zaka. And now here comes Aspiro, and now they come in. Buffalo gets possession of the puck in the defensive zone, and a stretch feed here for Buffalo. And it's Quinn loses an edge. He could have beat out the icing, but he could have gotten that puck. And now here comes Boston in the offensive zone. Under 10 minutes to go. Boston with a shot goes wide, and Buffalo's got it again. Buffalo around the boards. Thompson trying to find some sort of passing lane. He does. And now here comes Zucker. In. Shoots! And that one's stopped by Jeremy Swayman. A huge stop from Swayman at this point in time. 9:40 left in the third period. Here come the Boston Bruins. Dumps it in. Gets it to the other side. And Buffalo's going to be able to hold the line. Doan to Power. Power to Benson. Benson is going to come in, and he can't hold on to the puck. 11 goals in the third period, most in the playoffs by the Buffalo Sabres. Buffalo's trying to keep it up. Here comes in Boston. Boston in. Shoots. Gloved by Lyon with 9:15 left in the third period, and still a scoreless game. And still a 3-1 Buffalo lead. So we're going to change this one up here. Let's see if it's still an intermission for Tampa Montreal. Let's just see that. It does look like Tampa Montreal is still in an intermission. So once again, the best hope that Canada has for winning a cup is the Montreal Canadiens, given the fact they are the only team right now who is still in the postseason and from Canada. So that's very interesting. We saw 4 Canadian teams miss the playoffs: Toronto, Winnipeg, and Vancouver, Calgary, and then Edmonton and Ottawa were eliminated round one. So right now, Montreal is the best opportunity that Canada has of going and getting a Stanley Cup. But we shall see if they're able to do that tonight, or if they are going to have to wait until potentially Sunday in a game 7. Next goal wins at this point. So it's going to be pretty close to the overtime period, so I'm going to change that here. Just give me a second here, folks. Let's change this to overtime, which is pretty dang good. Fantastic game so far. Probably deserves to be going to overtime. Let's make this a little bit bigger and move this to the middle. Okay, hold on a minute here, folks. And that seems to be good. Maybe a little bit higher than that. Okay, so we're about to be entering overtime. Habs and Bolts. Bolts win, and we get a game 7 in Tampa Bay on Sunday at a to be announced time. Montreal wins, the series is over. Habs win in 6, and they advance to their second round for the first time since 2021 when they went to the Stanley Cup final to play and lose to the Tampa Bay Lightning. So very interesting note there, we are still in intermission for overtime between the Habs and the Bolts. Once again, in this series between Montreal and Tampa, there have been 3 prior overtime games. The first one, Yuri Slafkovsky, a minute in, won it for the Montreal Canadiens. In game 2, it was J.J. Moser who won it for Tampa Bay about 13 minutes into the first overtime period. And then in game 3, Lane Hudson scored a very solid shot, very solid point blast from the point that was able to get the Montreal Canadiens the win in Montreal. So there has been one overtime game in the Habs building so far, and that was going in Montreal's favor. So we'll still see if that is able to continue. Once again, most seasons without a playoff series win. Once again in history, 24 for Florida before they won in 2021, 23 for the Jets Yotes franchise from 88 to 11, and then there was an Islanders and Rangers playoff series winning drought here. Buffalo's got 18 seasons without a. It was the Islanders who had a 21-year playoff drought without winning a series. The Rangers had a 20-year playoff drought. And the last time the Buffalo Sabres won the playoffs was in the 2008 season. So it has been a while since the Buffalo Sabres were able to advance to round 2. So once again, we are live here. Hold on a minute here, folks. 8:54 left. And Buffalo is on the precipice of ending a very long postseason drought of making it to round 2, sort of similar to what Minnesota did last night and Anaheim did last night. So some really solid stuff. Remember, only 8 teams make it to round 2 each year. So if you had different teams every year, the most you could get is would be 4. All teams will make it in 4 years, but you never always have 4 different teams each year or 8 different teams each year make it to round 2. So yeah, you're going to have a couple of teams usually have some droughts, and Buffalo is one of them. So once again, we'll see if they're able to end that drought tonight. Once again, Habs Bolts is just about to head to overtime. So we are going to be able to get back to that game in the very near future. Actually, we'll go back to that game right now. There's 8:40 left in the Buffalo-Boston game. So that's going to be very interesting. Let's see. Hold on a minute here, folks. Once again, you are not missing anything. My thing's just loading up. So once again, we are in a commercial break. So you are not missing a thing. I do appreciate you guys all for tuning in. Once again, we are going to be able to see if the Habs do wind up advancing to round 2, or if the Bolts are going to force a game 7. So far in this series, all 3 overtime games were ended in overtime 1, so we shall see if that continues tonight. Habs won game 1 in overtime, Bolts won game 2 in overtime, and Habs won game 3 in overtime. Habs winning game 3 in overtime on home ice. So the Bell Center has seen some OT playoff hockey earlier this week, over the past couple of weeks, earlier in the playoffs, and we shall see if they're able to continue it. So very interesting stuff there. Once again, there's just a commercial break, so you are not missing a thing. Sabres are closing in on ending the Boston Bruins in 6 games and advancing to round 2 for the first time since 2008. It has been 18 years since the Buffalo Sabres have been able to make it to round 2. So it's been quite a while. So once again, you're not missing a thing. We're in our last commercial break before overtime. Been a really good game between Vasilevsky and Dobesh. So it'll be very interesting to see if the Habs are able to hold on and win this series, or if it's the Bolts who go ahead. Once again, they're just showing the stadium outside the stadium, all the fans looking on for the Habs trying to win this game. Once again, we're about 3 hours into the live stream, so I appreciate you guys all for tuning in, and I thank you for that. Once again, overtime hero, Slavkovsky won, Moser game 2, it was Hudson in game 3. We'll see who wins tonight's game. Once again, it's been a very tight series. I think it's only fitting if it is the end of the series tonight, if Montreal does win, for it to end in overtime with how close it's been all series long. Once again, we're just about to get puck drop here between Montreal and Tampa. Once again, the Habs trying to end the Lightning's season and advance to round 2 for the first time since 2021. And the Bolts trying to force the Game 7 in Florida, in Tampa Bay, and trying to wind up forcing a Game 7 and trying to maybe win the series in Game 7 on Sunday. So once again, we're just getting ready here for puck drop. Bolts and Habs, Game 6 is heading to overtime right now. So let's get going here. Habs just looking at all the fans in the arena. They're getting ready for the puck drop. Cirelli out there against, I think that's going to be Suzuki in the face-off draw. Bolts, Habs, let's see who winds up winning this one. Suzuki and Cirelli in the face-off dot. Overtime just beginning. And it is going to be... We have to redo the face-off. So just wait a second here, guys. And it is going to be... Habs win the faceoff. Matheson gets it, dumps it into the offensive zone, and the Habs will work. Now Tampa with the intercept. Here comes the Bolts. Kucherov dumps it down. Hagel goes after it, as does Lane Hudson. And Hudson can't get to it. Kucherov does. And the puck goes up. Cirelli can't get to it. Slavkovsky now does. And the Montreal Canadiens can't get it out. Hagel keeps the line. Now Montreal gets it. Now Montreal gets it out. Slavkovsky. Nice pass to Caulfield. Caulfield going around. Can't get it. Radish now gets it to Slavkovsky. Slavkovsky gets around to Radish. Radish is going to be able to send it all the way down the ice. And it looks like there's no icing on the play. Montreal's gone the defensive zone. Nice stretch feed here. And here come the Montreal Canadiens. Demidov shoots! Stopped by Vasilevsky. Nice toe save from Andrei Vasilevsky. And Montreal is going to be able to not hold the line, but they do gain possession in the neutral zone. Montreal's going to get it back to Lane Hudson. Hudson across. And now here come the Montreal Canadiens in the offensive zone. Josh Anderson goes after it. Anderson passes it back to the no. It's a little bit too far for him. Hudson pinching, and he can't hold the line. And now Tampa's able to get into the offensive zone. Gooley's able to get there. Gooley gets their first point on him. Demidov gets it now. Demidov passes it back to, I can't remember who that was. And now here comes Philip Deneau into the offensive zone. Deneau with a shot. Stopped by Vasilevsky. Rebound, and he's going to cover up. Nice cover up from Andrei Vasilevsky off the shot. 18 and a half left in the first overtime frame, and it's still a scoreless game. Demidov with a nice shot along the goal line. Nice toe save from Andrei Vasilevsky. And we go back to the bench. Once again, 14-22 time on ice for Demidov. He's had 5 shots on goal, so he's really trying to get this overtime winner for the Montreal Canadiens. Let's see here. Once again, there'll be an offensive zone face-off draw here for the Montreal Canadiens, I think. I think it was the Montreal Canadiens. So once again, let's see. Once again, some of the players on the ice are just talking with each other. That Knights and Mammoth game should be able to get going in the very near future. Suzuki's got it, and he's going to go against Cirelli, and Suzuki does win it, and Diastos does intercept it, and he's going to get it in the defensive zone. Diastos, a nice cross feed, intercepted, sent back into the Montreal zone. Lilleberg sends it around the boards. Montreal keeps it in. Suzuki around the boards. And Tampa intercepts. Tampa is going to be able to, can't get it out. Slavkovsky gets it, trying to get center, can't. And now here comes Caulfield trying to drive it in. He can't. Suzuki's got below the goal line. Suzuki back to the point to Lane Hudson. Shoots! Stopped. And now it's Gooley who shoots. Stopped by Vasilevsky. And now it's Suzuki back to Lane Hudson. Hudson shoots it again, and too many bodies in front, can't get it. Caulfield and Slavkovsky go after the puck. Can't. And now here comes Tampa with a little bit of a break. Here come the Bolts. Got Calvis. is going to fight in the corner with one of the Bolts Habs players, and Carrier is going to get it. Here's to Slavkovsky. Slavkovsky dumps it in, and he goes off for a change. Bolduc chases after it. Zach Bolduc can't get to it. McDonough now has it below his own goal line, and he gets it into the neutral zone where Montreal intercepts. Texier to Doc. Doc is going to be able to get it back into the offensive zone, but no further. And now here comes Tampa Bay. The Bolts have it into the offensive zone. Kucherov to Gensel, and Gensel can't hold it. And now here comes Bolduc trying to stretch feet, and he does get it tipped in by Bolduc or to Texier, and he's not being able to get it. Now Tampa, Montreal. Once again, fighting for it below the Tampa goal line, and Tampa can't hold it. Matheson sends it in, and that puck goes out of play, and there'll be a stoppage with 17 minutes left in the first period of overtime, and was a scoreless game. We're going to be changing this really quickly here. Well, it's a stoppage to having been the third period. Hold on a minute here, folks. Let's see this. Okay, hold on a minute here, folks. This will change to the third period because Vegas and Utah is just about to get underway. Once again, you are not missing a thing. We're just about to have a face-off, and I think the neutral zone. So very interesting. Let's give me a second here, folks, and that should be good. Habs have it in the offensive zone. Habs have it in the defensive zone, trying to get something going here. And here come the Montreal Canadiens. Demidov's got it, passes it into the neutral zone, and Montreal's going to be able to gain possession of the puck again. It's Demidov who passes it back to Struble, and Struble's going to get there. Struble. And it's intercepted. Tampa with a shot. Jurgensen's can't get there. And let's see here. Tampa still got it, trying to get it in, and they can't. Here comes the Tampa Bay Lightning. They have it below the goal line. Here comes Tampa to the point. Shoots! Stop by Dobesh. Nice stop. And now here come the Tampa Bay Lightning. And now Struble's able to intercept it in the defensive zone, and he's going to clear it out of the zone. Bjorkstrand gets it to, I think that's Radish, and Radish gets it to Moser as both teams are changing. Moser with a stretch feed. Nice pass to James. James dumps it in. Xhekaj goes after it, and Deneau is able to get it to Newhook. Newhook with a huge hit. And Xhekaj is able to get back after the Bolts dump it in. Xhekaj can't keep it, though. Tampa is able to get there at the point. Lilleberg sends it back to James. James with a shot. It goes wide. Newhook's got it. Newhook sending it. It's kept in by Goncalves. And now Goncalves has to go back out. Goncalves trying to get something going here. Here comes Goncalves to Lilleberg. And here comes a break. Goncalves, but he can't get there. Deneau's going to get it. Banks it off the boards. And now it's below the goal line to Diastis. Diastis in the neutral zone passes it, gets it up. Bjorkstrand sends it in. James goes after it. James around the boards to the point. And I think that's Slavkovsky who's going to clear the puck down the zone. And now here come the Montreal Canadiens. And I think this is going to be no icing here. It was hit off a stick. Montreal turns it over in the neutral zone. Tampa's got it. And they pass it deep into the Montreal zone. Struble waits for it. Kucherov to Hagel. Trying to get around some of the Montreal Canadiens players can't. Hagel does have it. Hagel looking to the point to Kucherov. Shoots! Stop. That puck is loose! And Hagel can't put it home. What a stop from Dobesh. He just couldn't get there in time. And I think that puck went out of play. What a stop from Jakub Dobesh. Oh my gosh, what a stop. A nice try from Hagel and Kucherov to make something happen. That puck was loose, and once again, Dobesh just got enough. What a stop from Jakub Dobesh. Radish with a point shot, trickled just wide, and then Hagel put it, and I think he just put it over the top. So a nice try from Brandon Hagel, but he could not put it through. Once again, a scoreless game right now in overtime between Montreal and Tampa Bay. 14.5 left in the first overtime frame. Montreal trying to end the series. Tampa trying to extend it to a Game 7 in Tampa on Sunday. And let's see what happens here. Norris just scored an empty netter. It looks like the Sabres are about to beat the Bruins. We'll get to that game in a minute. And offensive zone faceoff draw for Tampa. They lose it. Matheson has it. Matheson passes it to Carrier. And there's a penalty, I think. Tripping call, or is there a penalty? They're playing still, and I think there might be a penalty on Tampa. I think Kucherov might be going to the box. It looks like Tampa might be having an overtime, or Montreal might be having an overtime power play here. Oh boy. Montreal did score in the first game on an overtime power play. Slavkovsky was the game winner. Let's see here. I think Kucherov was called for hooking, maybe, or tripping. Yeah, his stick did wind up getting caught in Carrier's feet. So that's not good. And yep, 2-minute power play for the Habs. Chance to end it here on the power play. Montreal, after Kucherov takes a tripping penalty in the offensive zone, is going to get 2 minutes of power play time and a chance to end the series on home ice in Game 6. And was been a dominant goalie battle between Vasilevsky and Dobesh. 0 for 2 tonight, 3 shots on goal. Montreal's going to look to change that right now. Habs fans are on their feet at the Bell Center. Montreal's going to lose the faceoff. Chernak gets it around the boards, and the Bolts do get it, and they are not able to get it out. Here come the Montreal Canadiens. Shot, pass! Nice try, Slavkovsky off the side of the net. Demidov's got it. Demidov tries to get it back to the point, can't, and now he's going to be able to get to the point. Suzuki shoots! Tipped in front, can't get it. Caulfield's got it. Caulfield to Demidov. Demidov back to the point. It's a little bit too high for Hudson, and he has to go back into the neutral zone to recover. Lane Hudson's got it now with a nice pass to Demidov. Demidov enters the offensive zone, can't get to Suzuki. Tampa gets it, clears it down the ice. Minute and a half left in the power play for the Montreal Canadiens. Scoreless game in overtime. 13:49 left in the overtime frame. Minute 15 left in the power play. Caulfield's got it. Caulfield to Suzuki. Suzuki walks in, sends it to Demidov. Demidov gets it to, I think that was Slavkovsky. Now Demidov's got it back to Suzuki. Back to Demidov. Demidov walks in, looking for a shooting lane, can't find one. Gets it to Slavkovsky. Slavkovsky, with one of the Bolts players draped all over him, gets it to the point, to Lane Hudson. Hudson gets it to Caulfield. Caulfield to Suzuki. Suzuki back to Hudson, shoots, stopped, and Suzuki can't get to it. Now Suzuki does. Slavkovsky around the boards, gets it to Demidov. Demidov looking, brings it in, gets it to Slavkovsky along the walls, gets it across. Caulfield can't handle it, or Suzuki actually can't handle it. Hudson's got 30 seconds left on the power play, and Montreal and Tampa gets it out. Dobish is out to play it, and he gets it to another Montreal player, and it's dumped back in after Tampa intercepts it. Once again, Dobish has it below the goal line, 18 seconds left on this Habs power play. Montreal trying to get the game winner here. Tampa with the intercept, and they're just going to try and waste the last 10 seconds off the clock, which I think they will be doing. So a huge kill there from Tampa. In overtime, it has been a scoreless game so far. Tampa bringing in the offensive zone. That's Lilleberg. Lilleberg drops it for Hagel. Shoots! Stopped. And Montreal gets the puck back. And they can't clear it out. Here comes Kucherov. Out of the box. Shoots! Stopped by Dobesh. What a stop on a streaking Kucherov. Dobesh has been phenomenal. Kucherov streaking, broke a couple of defenders' legs, and was able to get a shot on goal, but Dobesh stood tall. It stays a scoreless game. Wow, what a stop. Once again, they're just showing some of the highlights. A nice pass to Slavkovsky. He just could not get all of it on the puck. And then another nice shot, stopped by Vasilevsky. And then, once again, the Montreal Canadiens turnover. Kucherov in all alone, and what a stop from Dobesh. Broke through a whole bunch of Habs defenders, and Carrier and Matheson and Dobesh just stood tall. What a stop from Jakub Dobesh. Shots in overtime so far, 4-3 Montreal. Once again, hold on a minute here, folks. I'm just going to try and change something up really quickly here. Looked like the Buffalo Sabres were up 4-1 last I checked, thanks to a goal from Josh Norris. So that game should be close to being finished. Once it does get finished, we will let you guys know. Offenses on face-off draw here for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Sorry, you can't see the screen because of copyright stuff. So, unfortunately, that's not the. I can't do that. I would have loved to do that with you guys, but unfortunately, I can't. So, I just have to do it like this. Montreal's got it, and they flip it into the neutral zone, and the Habs can't get it. The Habs have in the neutral zone now. Anderson to the red line, dumps it in. And Vasilevsky stops it, but Montreal does keep it in for a second, but it goes out. They have to regroup in the neutral zone. They send back to the defensive zone. Matheson's got it. Gets it across, maybe a little bit of a break here. Montreal's got it. Evans back to Matheson. Matheson back to Evans below the goal line, loses the puck, and Tampa's going to be able to regain possession. Diastis gets it across to his D partner, and now here comes Gensel. Dumps it in, and now here come the Montreal Canadiens. Matheson trying to get something going here, and they can't. And now Matheson below his goal line. Matheson looking for a passing lane here. Matheson gets it, walks in through a whole bunch of people. He's got a little bit of space, gets it, rims it around the boards, waits for Newhook. Newhook to the point, shoots, stopped, and the puck goes out of the zone. So Montreal has to take up. They dump it back into the Tampa zone. Tampa stops up below the goal line. 11 minutes left in overtime, and was a scoreless game so far. Moser passes it to James. James around the boards gets it to Jurgensen's fighting for the puck, can't get it. Gooley is able to get it for a second. Get it across the boards, but Tampa holds it at the point. Here it comes. I think that's Hagel. Back up Pross. Shoots. Goncalves up. Rebound. They score. The Tampa Bay Lightning have won the game. Gage Goncalves has sent this thing to a game 7. What a goal from Gage Goncalves, and a loose puck in front is buried by the Tampa Bay Lightning. The game is over, and the series continues. This one's heading to a Game 7 in Tampa Bay on Sunday. Wow, what a Game 7. What a Game 6 this was. Such a good chance for both teams. I was really hoping Montreal would come away with the victory. But man, what an interesting Game 6. And Vasilevsky shuts the door. 30 save shutout from Andrei Vasilevsky. And Dobeš stopped all but one shot, and that one shot was the game winner. Hagel got it to James. James got to Goncalves. Goncalves had a shot on goal. Tried to put it in first time. Dobeš with a beautiful save. The rebound was right there for the taking, though, and Goncalves was wasting no time to put that rebound in. And a nice goal there from Gage Goncalves. This series is headed to 7. We will have at least one Game 7 on Sunday. So very interesting out there. Let's change some things up here. Hold on a minute here, folks. Let's just change some things up. This is now a final in overtime. Let's just do that. Okay, let's move this down a little bit here. So this is going to be a final now in overtime, and the Bolts win 1-0. So a good win there from Tampa. This sort of felt like a series that had to go 7 games, and it will. Hopefully Montreal's able to win on the road. I really want the Habs to take the victory here and end the Montreal Canadiens and end the Tampa Bay Lightning, but I did pick Tampa in 7, which is where it's sort of trending to go right now. So interesting note there, but Tampa does wind up winning this game over the Montreal Canadiens. Let's see how Boston Buffalo's going. I might stay with you guys for the last little bit of this game. Once again, it's 4-1. There is 54 seconds, so we'll stay until the end of the Buffalo-Boston game. Yes, I'm going to finish the Sabres game. There's only a minute left. Dahlin has it on the power play for the Buffalo Sabres, up 4-1. Byram, he's got it to Zucker. Zucker to Thompson. Thompson to the point to McLeod. McLeod with 37 seconds left in this game and this series. McLeod gets it across to Dahlin. Dahlin to McLeod. Loses the puck. Boston's going to get it. They clear it. They can't. McLeod keeps it in. Nice job from Thompson. And 23 seconds left in the Boston Bruins season. Boston trying to race through. They do able to get it shorthanded. I think Janot. 15 seconds left. Buffalo's content to just hold on along a board battle. 10 seconds left. Dahlin has it below his own goal line. And one of the longest active playoff droughts for getting to round 2 is going to be ended here. 2-1. And the Buffalo Sabres end the Boston Bruins season for the first time since 2008. The Buffalo Sabres are going to round 2. It has been a long time. It has been almost 2 decades. But the Sabres have found a way. They get it. And first series win since 2007. They will face the winner of Game 7 on Sunday between Tampa Bay and Montreal. You love to see it. Last night it was Minnesota and Anaheim. A couple nights ago it was Philadelphia. Another long streak of a team not making it to round 2 has been ended tonight, and that is with Buffalo ending the series against the Boston Bruins. So very interesting note there. There's one game left tonight. I think it just got started, and that is Vegas versus Utah. So let's just change a couple things up here. That's actually supposed to be the first period, not the third period. So let's change that here. Hold on a minute here, guys. This is in the first period now, not the third period. I don't know why that was in the third. Let's see here. Just give me 1 minute here, guys. Let's see if I can get this to go. Oh, that's probably best I can do right now. And then this one's going to be going to finished. So let's move this here. And this is going to be final. Final between Boston and Buffalo. And the Boston Bruins lose and lose the series. So we have one game six, another one that's finished. The Sabres are moving on. They're going to host whoever wins Tampa Montreal. Tampa Montreal is going to be going to game seven. So we will have a game seven on Sunday. And now it's just a matter of is this going to be the only game seven, or we have another game seven between Vegas and Utah. So very interesting to note there. I do appreciate you guys for tuning into the broadcast. If you guys are leaving, and once again, I'm just going to end the stream here. Leave a like, leave a comment, tell all your friends. Best hockey content on YouTube is right here at the End to End Hockey channel. So if you can, leave a subscribe, leave a like, tell all your friends. It really is helpful with the channel. I'm not sure about Sunday. Once again, I have a lot of things to do on Sunday with church and other things. So if I can get around to doing a Game 7 live stream, I will try to, but I'm not going to guarantee it right now. I will not be streaming Carolina-Philadelphia Game 6 tomorrow, or Game 1 tomorrow. I will not be streaming that game, so I'm going to take a little bit of a day off. So we'll see if we have a game stream on Sunday. If not, our next game stream will definitely be on Monday. It will be one of the games that happens on Monday. I'm sure there'll be probably two games that happen on Monday. I'm sure that by the end of Sunday, the round 2 schedule will come out. So I'll be doing a game stream on Monday for one of the games that happen on Monday. I will be doing a live draft lottery simulation on Tuesday. I'll be live streaming the draft lottery. So I hope you guys tune in for that on Tuesday. And then Thursday and Friday, we'll have more game streams for round 2. So I thank you guys all for tuning in. Thank you guys for tuning in to all of my live streams that I've done over the past couple of weeks. I will continue to do more in the future over the next couple of weeks as we're gearing up to go into round 2. So I appreciate you guys all for tuning in. Once again, we'll be having more content coming out, fan reactions, game recaps, off-season previews, trade rumors in the next couple of days. So I hope you guys all tune in for all of those things. And I thank you guys all for all of the support that you've given me to this channel. I should also have the next preview, the playoff preview for round 2, probably out sometime on Monday too. So I hope you guys all tune in for that. Thank you guys all for the live stream and for all the support. And I'll see you guys all for more hockey content over the next couple of days, and potentially our next live stream either Sunday, or if I can't get to anything on Sunday, on Monday. So I hope you guys tune in for that. And check the schedule on my community tabs. I will be having updates when it comes to my schedule for posting and for live content. Let your guys' thoughts on all of that down in the comment section below. And care to you guys all. God bless you all, and see you all in the next one.